Chapter 2354. 2354 took the initiative to attack. Su. When an expert's command sounded, over 100,000 people on the temporary main road quickly flew towards the star beast planet in front of them. In the center, on the left and right, over 10 powerful battle pets that were about 5 to 6,000 meters in size were flying. In the sky above them, there were many young disciples standing. The leader of the group was an expert from the Heavenly Law sect and the Overlord sect. The Heavenly Dharma sect and the Overlord sect were the overlords of the star origin planet. Dragon Python, come out. Invincible battle technique looked at the densely packed people around him and revealed a proud smile. Roar. The multicolored Dragon Python immediately appeared beneath him. He stepped on the top of the Dragon Python's head with a proud expression. Boss Wang, isn't he handsome? As Invincible battle technique spoke, a video recording device flew out from his body and hovered above his head to record the scene around here. Wang Xian shook his head and landed on the head of the multicolored Dragon Python. Invincible battle technique was too high profile. However, this was also in line with his name. Invincible Force was a high-profile force. It's those two young men who caused trouble at the Star Beast Tower. One of them is a Beast Tamer Master. A level 8 war pet of the Eternal Godlord is really enviable. If only I could get it. Some of the people around saw a huge war pet appear. Their gazes landed on Invincible battle technique and Wang Xian. Some of them recognized them and whispered among themselves. I was worried that they would escape. Now, hey. At the back, the group of experts from Sky City looked ahead and narrowed their eyes slightly. They were still searching earlier. Now, it seemed that there was no need for that. Third senior brother, should we act immediately or wait? At a spot in front, a middle-aged man turned his head and glanced at Wang Xian and third senior brother. He touched the war pet that had 8 eyes on its shoulder. This war pet was very strange. It had 2 pairs of eyes on both sides. Don't waste too much time on a kid. Let's act first and send it to Master. After that, we will rush over. Third senior brother who was standing at the side said indifferently. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. All right. Everyone nodded their heads. Regardless of whether the other party had the strength of level 8, level 9, or even peak stage Master God, they didn't put him in their eyes at all. As the disciples of the Krak God King of the Astral Beast building, their strength was also at peak stage Eternal Master. With the addition of their battle pets, it was very easy for them to fight against people of the same level. Wang Xian, who was standing on the colorful Dragon Python, sensed some of the gazes around him. His heart skipped a beat. He took a glance behind him and swept past the group of experts from the city in the sky. Looks like someone is courting death. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Among them, the strongest one was at the peak of the Eternal Lord realm. The rest were all above level 7. Now that he had the combat strength of the peak of the Eternal Lord level, it was not difficult for him to destroy them with the help of the array formation and his own combat strength. Also, that pet. There were many pairs of eyes looking at them. What Wang Xian sensed was the city in the sky and the battle pet with 8 eyes. His eyes met with the battle pet's and it was also staring at him. Wang Xian looked at the people in front of the war pet. He didn't notice anything strange, nor did he take them seriously. He had a little conflict with the Star Beast Tower, but it shouldn't be to the extent of killing the 2 of them. The group flew forward quickly. The Star Beast planet wasn't too far away. With their speed, they could reach it in an hour. Boss, the place to the east of the planet is where the Beast King Divine Kingdom is located. We can't go there. Which direction should we go? An hour later, an incomparably huge planet appeared in their line of sight. Invincible asked Wang Xian, to the west. Let's go to a remote place first. Wang Xian said to Invincible. All right, Boss Wang. Invincible nodded his head. With a wave of his arm, he kept the multicolored Dragon Python into his eternal divine kingdom. The Star Beast planet was an incomparably huge and desolate planet. The trees on it were luxuriant and many of them were thousands of meters tall. There were tall mountains and huge rivers, and there were no human buildings. As one approached Star Beast planet, one could hear the roars of desolate beast. On this planet, There were many eternal God Lord level sea monsters. Even though they were invincible in battle, they did not dare to ride their colorful dragon python battle pet. Let's go. The two of them landed in the air above the trees and flew towards the west. There were also many people flying towards the west. As expected, the people from Sky City are following us. They are courting death. Wang Xian revealed a cold expression on his face. Last time, he was chased by the people from Sky City. This time, Wang Xian was not prepared to defend passively. Boss Wang, it's about time. There aren't many people here. We can make our move now. After flying for about half an hour, they avoided all the places with strong auras below. Invincible looked around and said to him, "Continue flying forward." Wang Xian didn't stop. He was afraid that he would attract some experts if he were to fight here. Hualala. They flew for tens of millions of kilometers as they flew towards the west. A gigantic waterfall appeared in front of them. The height of the waterfall was about 10,000 meters and its width was also dozens of kilometers. Go down immediately. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings with his yin-yang dragon eyes and sensed behind him. Then, he spoke to Invincible battle technique. Boss Wang, do you have any goals? Invincible battle technique was slightly stunned as he asked. Buzz. Wang Xian landed on the ground. Without any hesitation, he immediately set up a formation there. One formation after another was set up in the surroundings. He looked at the position behind him and narrowed his eyes slightly. I can only set up one formation. However, I have already set up 5 formations in advance. Wang Xian thought to himself. After setting up one formation, he looked towards Invincible battle technique. Stay away from him later, he reminded him. Boss Wang, what are you doing? Invincible battle technique's face was filled with astonishment. He looked towards the back and stood there quietly waiting. They've stopped, the other party has finally stopped. This damned fellow, they've finally stopped. Behind them, there were slight fluctuations in the sky. At a glance, they couldn't be seen at all. Only slight fluctuations could prove that there was something strange there. Out of thin air, a voice rang out. After capturing him, we'll immediately return. City Lord, his voice rang out, and the people hidden in the void looked forward. Hey! What's that guy doing? Standing there without moving? He's just an 8th level Eternal God Lord brat. He killed our Sky City's people and even has a special treasure. Prepare the imprisonment ring, the Sky City's experts said. With their strength, it was easy for them to capture an Eternal God Lord rank 8 expert and prepare in advance. Chapter 2355. 2355 2355 took the initiative to attack. It's here. Wang Xian stood in front of the waterfall with a smile on his face. This time, he stood there without hiding anything. Not long ago, his combat strength was only at level 8 of the Eternal Lord. Many people knew about this. No one knew about his 2 consecutive improvement. With the group of experts in Sky City, they would be too cautious if they had to be cautious even when facing a level 8 of the Eternal Lord. Get ready to make a move. Seal it with the confinement circle. Just then, just as Wang Xian expected, a voice rang out. Following that, he could feel waves of energy charging towards him. A confinement circle had locked onto him directly. Buzz. The confinement circle appeared above Wang Xian. He did not dodge it. Even with the level 8 strength of the Eternal Lord, he could not dodge it. What a waste of time. He actually ran so far away. When they saw that the confinement circle had locked onto Wang Xian, one figure after another flew over to his surrounding. 16 people had completely locked onto Wang Xian in the middle. People from the city in the sky. Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he saw them appearing around him. He asked indifferently, "You are quite calm. You have to pay the price for killing the people of Sky City. Come with us." City Lord, he stared at Wang Xian and said with a smile on his face, "It was the people of Sky City who ambushed me. I killed them instead. Are you blaming me for seeking death?" Wang Xian replied indifferently, "Mph, you have to pay the price for killing the people of Sky City. Come with us." An Eternal Lord level 9 powerhouse waved his arm and a sharp sword appeared in his hand. He pointed it at Wang Xian. Come with you. It seems like you are not here for revenge. You are here for something else. Wang Xian stared at them and raised his eyebrows slightly. You will know in a while. Capture him. City Lord, he waved his arm and ordered immediately. Leave it to me alone. The old man who was holding a sharp sword said proudly. His figure moved and directly attacked Wang Xian. Oh no, it's the experts from the city in the sky. How much enmity do they have with Boss Wang? They actually came to fuck Boss Wang. This is troublesome. The other party has a peak stage Eternal Lord, 2 to 3 of them are at level 9, and the weakest is at level 7. Boss Wang clearly knew that the opponent wanted to attack him, so he waited here. Is Boss Wang confident? At this moment, Invincible, who was hiding in the waterfall, saw this scene and widened his eyes, his face full of astonishment. The people of Sky City had come to attack Boss Wang. Boss Wang clearly knew in advance that the opponent was so powerful, so why was he deliberately waiting here? Invincible was a little dumbfounded. He just prayed silently. The people from Sky City have completely angered me. I'm quick. I will destroy the entire Sky City. Wang Xian looked at the old man who was attacking him. His face revealed a cold expression. His body trembled. Buzz. In an instant, the entire area within 100 kilometers was sealed by the black hole disturbance formation. The black hole disturbance formation that was strengthened by Wang Xian could withstand the level 9 attack of the Eternal Lord. Only those at the peak of the Eternal Lord could break through it. However, Wang Xian wouldn't give them any chance. I'll settle the score with the city in the sky after I kill all of you. Wang Xian stared at them coldly. Huh? Is he waiting for us here specifically? The 16 powerhouses from the city in the sky were stunned for a moment. Their faces were filled with vigilance. Their eyes swept across the surroundings. The pupils of one of the level 7 Eternal Lord powerhouses contracted slightly. I realized that I can't return to my eternal divine kingdom. It's this formation. This formation can interfere with us, he said hurriedly with a grave expression. Buzz. At this moment, Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements millstone appeared in the sky above the black hole. Above it, the power of law was rotating. Roar, roar, roar. On the 5 elements millstone, 5 divine dragons swayed their gigantic bodies as formation after formation attacked them directly. Each of the 5 formations had the destructive power of the peak of the Eternal Lord. Oh no, we've been ambushed. His strength is not only at the 8th rank of the Eternal God Lord. An Eternal God Lord rank 9 expert's expression changed as he shouted loudly. Be careful, he's hiding his strength. City Lord, his pupils constricted slightly. According to the information they had received, the other party's strength was at most at the 8th rank of the Eternal God Lord. Now, there were actually 5 arrays that were comparable to a peak Eternal God Lord. Holy Light Barrier. Castellan, he shouted loudly, and a holy light staff appeared in his hand. He immediately raised it up and a shadow of the God of Light with wings appeared on it. PH, I'm here just to wait for you guys. If you want to kill me, I want to kill you guys too. When Wang Xian saw that Castellan he wanted to resist the attack of the formation, a cold expression appeared on his face. He stretched out his arm and transformed it into a terrifying dragon claw. Wang Xian leaped up and charged at all of them. Oh no, his strength is completely different from the information. City Lord, he felt the attack coming from Wang Xian's dragon claw. His expression changed drastically as he growled in a low voice. Damn it, how could this be? His strength is completely different from the information in our city in the sky. He is an expert at the peak of the Eternal Lord. The rest of them revealed a hint of horror on their faces. An array master at the peak of the Eternal Lord level could easily kill them after setting up the array. Most importantly, they realized that their own attack power was also abnormally terrifying. Boom. All of this happened in just a second. There was no time for them to think too much. 5 attacks from the array and Wang Xian's dragon claws landed in the sky above them at the same time. Bang! The holy light barrier collapsed instantly. The dragon claws that contained the 5 elements annihilation law clawed downward. The formations fell one after another. City Lord He, save us. At this moment, everyone except City Lord He had horrified expressions on their faces as they shouted in a stern voice. Their eyes were filled with despair and panic. Facing the attacks from Wang Xian and the formations, they didn't have the strength to resist at all. This fellow's strength. City Lord His heart was pounding. Facing such a terrifying attack, it was already good enough for him to be able to protect his entire body. He would never have thought that as a hunter, he would actually become a prey. Ah! At this moment, his companion's screams came from the side. His expression changed drastically. This won't do. I have to inform the city in the sky of this fellow's strength. Otherwise, an expert at the peak of the Eternal Lord level will bring great trouble to the city in the sky. City Lord His expression changed drastically. At this moment, he had completely given up on the idea of capturing Wang Xian. Now, it was already good enough for him to escape. Chapter 2356. 2356 Mantis stalks cicadas. Don't think about escaping. When you were about to attack me, your fate was already decided. Wang Xian stood at the center of the black hole disturbance formation and attacked City Lord He and the rest with his dragon claws. In just one round of attack, 10 out of 16 people were killed. However, this attack was just the beginning. Wang Xian waved his dragon claws that were dozens of kilometers in size and wreaked havoc in the entire space. Other than City Lord He, everyone else was trying their best to escape to their surroundings. Their faces were filled with fear. Damn it, isn't he a formation master? Why is his own attack so terrifying? City Lord His expression was extremely ugly. It was already very difficult for him to face a formation master of the same level. Now, not only was his opponent extremely terrifying in terms of formations, his own combat strength was even more terrifying, especially that strange and terrifying dragon claw. Every attack contained a large amount of destruction laws. City Lord He, we can't break through this strange array formation. Right at this moment, the terrified voice of a Tier 9 Eternal God Master came from the side. He fled to the edge and desperately attacked the black hole disturbance array formation over a dozen times, without the slightest fluctuation. This made him extremely shocked. Leave it to me, a person of the same level, wanting to kill me, dream on. City Lord His expression was cold, his body shook. My eternal god country, sky god country, appear. He roared madly, his eyes filled with madness. Not being able to escape back to his god country didn't mean that he couldn't summon his own god country. Even the immortal godly king couldn't restrain the eternal god from summoning his own divine kingdom. Crack, crack, crack. When the divine kingdom that was emitting a white glow appeared behind him, cracks appeared on the black hole array. HMPH, I said you can't escape, so don't even think about escaping. Wang Xian snorted softly and his entire body immediately transformed into a dragon. He shook his dragon tail and swept it towards the eternal kingdom that was revealed. Damn it, what kind of creature is this? He isn't human. When City Lord He saw Wang Xian's body change drastically, his expression changed slightly. Boom, boom, boom. The dragon tail struck directly towards City Lord His eternal kingdom. The terrifying force caused him to tremble violently. Castellan His expression changed drastically as he spat out a mouthful of blood. 5 elements grinding. Wang Xian shouted softly. The last 2 formations that were suspended in the air and did not dissipate landed once again. This time, they attacked the 5 surviving experts from the city in the sky. Stop. Castellan His expression changed drastically as he roared in a stern voice. Castellan He, save us. The remaining 5 people were extremely pale when they saw the terrifying energy laws wreaking havoc on them. Boom, boom, boom. Wang Xian didn't give them any time to react as he attacked one after another. City Lord He spat out mouthfuls of fresh blood. The eternal divine kingdom that was partially revealed was immediately retracted. If he continued to summon, his eternal divine kingdom might collapse before it was fully summoned. Once it collapsed, his injuries would be severe as well. City Lord He gritted his teeth and waved his laws of light towards Wang Xian. Interesting, interesting. Someone actually wants to deal with that beast tamer master. Just as Wang Xian trapped City Lord He and the rest in the formation, 10 figures were floating in the sky above the waterfall. They looked at the formation that covered a radius of 100 kilometers. The corners of their lips curled up slightly and their faces were filled with mockery. The group of people who wanted to attack the beast tamer master isn't weak either. There seems to be an eternal lord at the peak. However, looking at the situation, they were ambushed by the beast tamer master. TSK, I really didn't expect this. The 10 people who came were the 3rd and 4th senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower. Apart from him, there were 8 others. Among the other 8 people, there was an old man standing side by side with them. Obviously, they were on the same level. I'm a little surprised. 9th junior brother made a mistake. It seems that the strength of the beast tamer master is not too weak. He dared to ambush the other party. He must have a trump card. Let's wait here. 4th senior brother looked at the array in front of him. His eyes flickered. He asked 3rd senior brother beside him casually, "Senior brother, what array is this?" "I'm not sure. We'll wait outside. When the array formation is activated, we can just attack directly." 3rd senior brother shook his head and said to the surrounding people, "Well, we'll just wait. If we break the array formation directly, the other party will escape. Today, we'll be like a mantis stalking a cicada, a oriole following behind." 4th senior brother smiled and nodded. The group of people floated there and waited quietly. "Hey, why are there people here again?" At this time, Invincible battle technique, who was hiding behind the waterfall, saw the 10 figures in the sky and showed a stunned expression. "It's the people from the Star Beast Tower. What are they doing floating there? They come with ill intentions. FUCK, could it be that they are also here to FUCK Boss Wang? Boss Wang doesn't look like he deserves a beating. Why are there so many people who want to FUCK him?" Invincible battle technique was a little confused. His expression changed as he stared at the group of people. He took out a bright stone and pointed it in the direction of the people from the Star Beast Tower. 3 peak eternal godlords, a total of 3. Oh my god, Boss Wang is in trouble this time. Looking at the information on the Law God Stone, his expression changed slightly, and he muttered, "Boss Wang of Sky City doesn't know how to deal with it, and now there are 3 peak eternal godlords from Star Beast Tower. Do you want me, invincible in battle, to take out my killing weapon? But I'm afraid that they have peak eternal god lord battle pet." Invincible in battle had a dark face, and he looked at the area covered by the array with some sympathy. "Sigh, it's really not easy for Boss Wang to survive until now," he mumbled. Roar. At this moment, Wang Xian's dragon claw tore through the black hole-filled formation. The 5 elements grinding in the sky smashed heavily at City Lord He below. A golden crack appeared on his body. It was the wound left on his body by the metal attribute formation. Just 10 seconds ago, he was severely injured in order to save his disciple. In the entire black hole, he was the only person left in the city in the sky. In the face of Wang Xian's attack, City Lord He clenched his fist tightly. What kind of monster is he? A beast tamer master, a formation master, and he even has such a terrifying body. At this moment, Castellan he was already in despair. After 5 minutes of battle, he realized that he was no match for his opponent. "Even if I die, I will not let you have it easy." His eyes slowly turned blood red. "Law, Holy Angel Blood Sword, /" His body trembled and a large amount of blood spilled out. The blood turned into light and enveloped his body. "Ha ha ha, if you want to kill me, I will take you with me to die." Castellan he roared. His entire body turned into the Holy Angel Blood Sword and slashed towards Wang Xian. Chapter 2357. 2357 2357 was behind him. Die, die, die. In the formation with the black hole disturbing the air, Castellan he kept attacking Wang Xian with a crazed look on his face. He used his eternal divine blood to transform into the power of the Law of Light, condensing an incomparably terrifying holy sword. In front of Wang Xian, the yin and yang poles were rotating. Behind him, the power of the 5 elements was condensing, forming layers of defense in front of him. His entire body kept retreating backward. HMPH, you think you can perish together with me? Dream on. Wang Xian stared at him with a face full of killing intent. The experts of the city in the sky had attacked him time and time again. He had long lost his patience. After returning this time, he wanted to thoroughly play with the experts of the city in the sky. Die, die, die. City Lord, his body trembled violently. Pieces of his flesh and blood turned into the power of light. Soon, golden bones were exposed all over his body. He was like a skeleton. When he reached the level of Eternal God Lord, his bones turned into eternal golden bones. However, gradually, his eternal golden bones were like layers of golden sand that fell off and merged into his attack. Even though he knew that he was going to die, he was going all out. Thump, thump, thump. The attacks that consumed his vitality caused Wang Xian's expression to change slightly. Streams of fresh blood flowed out from the dragon scales on his body as he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, Wang Xian didn't care about the injuries on his body. His eyes revealed a sinister look. Ah! All of a sudden, he turned around abruptly and attacked the black hole disturbance formation at the side. Trying to escape, Wang Xian saw his intention. 2 gigantic dragon claws descended from the sky and smashed directly at his body. Bang! A terrifying force landed on his body, causing cracks to appear on his entire golden bone. No! An extremely hoarse voice came out from his mouth. The divine fire in his eyes began to dissipate. HMPH, go to hell. Soon, all of you from the city in the sky will accompany you. Wang Xian's cold voice traveled into his mind. City Lord, his corpse fell to the ground. Phew. Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that he was completely dead. He moved his body and transformed into a human form. He shook his head slightly as he looked at his own body. Even if he had won the battle against experts of the same level, he had already sustained serious injuries. City in the sky. Wang Xian mumbled. With a wave of his arm, he stored all the corpses into the mother nest. Wang Xian took their interspatial rings and took a look at the items inside. There are still quite a number of good items. This time, it's not a loss. A group of corpses can also increase the strength of the members of the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian smiled and kept all the items. Buzz. With a wave of his arm, the imprisonment ring above his head was broken. The imprisonment ring that the experts from the city in the sky had locked onto him was only useful to those who were at least level 9 of the Eternal Lord. He could break it directly. With a thought, the black hole disturbance array slowly dissipated. The array is going to disappear, normally. It seems that the Beast Tamer Master killed the enemy or let them escape. Outside, the people of Star Beast Tower saw the array slowly dissipating, and smiled. Hiss, hiss. Soft roars came from their side, followed by battle pets appearing around them, especially beside 3rd and 4th senior brother. There were 2 long golden snakes, each of them about 10 meters long, emitting a metallic luster. Their golden pupils stared at the position in front of them. Oh no, the formation is about to disappear. Boss Wang should still be alive, but those guys from the Star Beast Hall actually have 2 peak Eternal God Lord battle pets, 2 of them. In the waterfall, Invincible battle technique stared at the 2 golden snakes with burning eyes. When he saw the formation slowly dissipating, he revealed an anxious expression. Buzz. Boss Wang, be careful. The moment the formation disappeared, Invincible battle technique saw the figure floating in the middle and quickly reminded him loudly, there are still people around. Invincible battle technique's words also shocked everyone from the Star Beast Tower. Wang Xian, who had just come out, was also shocked. Buzz. In the next moment, another confinement circle landed on his head at a terrifying speed. At this moment, Wang Xian's face turned extremely dark. Recently, each confinement circle had locked onto his aura. Including this time, this was the 3rd time. Damn it, who are they? He was burning with rage. He had just exterminated the people from the city in the sky. How could there still be people ambushing him from the outside? Don't bother about the other fellow. Capture him first. Godlocking rope. At this moment, a voice rang out. Following that, a net-shaped divine weapon covered Wang Xian. Each of the ropes carried the power of thunder and produced a sizzling sound. Wang Xian's expression changed drastically. Hehe, this master is indeed smart, but the mantis stalks the cicada and the oriole follows behind. The few people from the Star Beast Tower watched this scene with smiles on their faces. The confinement circle had been locked, and the god-locking rope had already covered it. With the power of the god-locking rope, even a desolate beast at the peak of the Eternal Divine Lord stage would not be able to break free. This god-locking rope was used to capture Desolate Beast. Crack, crack. The moment the god-locking rope landed on Wang Xian's body, he felt his entire body go numb. He couldn't exert any strength at all. Furthermore, he was already injured and couldn't move at all. Wang Xian's expression changed drastically. Hehe, master wants us to capture this fellow back. It's too easy. Capturing him is much easier than capturing a desolate beast. Fourth senior brother looked at Wang Xian, who was trapped by the god-locking rope, with a smile on his face. Let's go back first. Third senior brother nodded his head with a smile. Buzz. Illusory. When Wang Xian heard their words, a strong killing intent flashed across his eyes. His body moved and instantly passed through the god-locking rope. Run. Wang Xian's face was extremely gloomy. This was already the second time he was being chased by someone. Every time, he would run away in a sorry state. Boss Wang, run. From the waterfall in front, the sound of invincible battle techniques could be heard. Wang Xian looked over and saw that it was the direction opposite to the group from the Astral Beast Tower. He immediately ran for his life. He actually escaped from the god-locking rope. The group from the Astral Beast Tower was slightly stunned. Following that, their expressions changed slightly. Capture him. Don't let him escape. Third brother's expression changed slightly as he ordered loudly in a cold voice. Hiss. Hiss. Two long golden snakes attacked in an instant. Third brother and fourth brother from the Star Beast Tower and the elder at the peak of the Eternal Divine Lord's figure flashed in an instant as they chased after Wang Xian. Boss Wang, get out of the way. Let them have a taste of my Yidali Obliteration Law 9 obscuring true canon. At this moment, in front of him, Invincible battle technique was standing at the top of the waterfall. In front of him was a 10-meter-long flame law cannon. The flames on the cannon were dancing. Each wisp of flame had 9 petals. A 10-meter-long cannon was aimed in front of him. His face revealed an extremely excited expression. Huh! Wang Xian stared at Invincible battle technique and felt the powerful threat from the flame law cannon beside him. He quickly dodged to the side. Chapter 2358. 2358 The Power of the 2358 9 Samadhi True Cannon. Buzz buzz buzz. Boom boom boom. In front of the huge waterfall of the Star Beast planet, the energy of the Law of Annihilation gathered on the 9 Samadhi True Cannon of the Yi-Da Particle Law of Annihilation. Numerous red flames that were like flower petals were emitting radiance. The entire cannon emitted a special sound, followed by a loud boom. It directly attacked the position in front of him. In front of him, the experts from the Star Beast Tower were chasing after Wang Xian. With the warning from Invincible in combat, Wang Xian hurriedly dodged to the side. Boom! Tens of thousands of fiery red petals attacked the experts from the Star Beast Tower. A ray of light flashed. Even the experts from the Star Beast Tower didn't have the time to react. No. The Jomei True Cannon landed on the body of the Elder who was at the peak of the Eternal God Lord. There was no time to dodge. He hurriedly released the Law Shield formed by the Earth attribute to block in front of him. However, the Law Shield was like a layer of paper, easily pierced through. The true Samadhi Cannon's attack instantly landed on his body. A terrified scream sounded. His eyes widened, revealing a look of disbelief and despair. Bang! The cannon with a diameter of 2 meters easily pierced through his body, instantly destroying it. Boom! The cannon penetrated his body and continued to attack the sky behind him. After attacking for at least tens of millions of kilometers, fiery red waves streaked across the sky. A muffled sound came from the sky in front of him. This sound could be heard clearly from here. One cannon shot killed an existence at the peak of the Eternal Lord realm. This was the power of powerful technology. Gulp. Wang Xian, who was hiding at the side, couldn't help but gulp when he sensed this scene. Powerful. This was simply too powerful. Although the name of the true Samadhi cannon was a little funny to Wang Xian, its strength was simply terrifying. The experts at the peak of the Eternal Lord level didn't have the slightest ability to resist. This is the strategic grade obliteration cannon from the Golden Armored Planet. Damn it, how could such a technological weapon appear on their bodies? The third and fourth senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower felt cold sweat all over their bodies in an instant. Their faces were extremely unsightly. The remaining 9 people stopped in unison. Even the battle pets stopped in their tracks. Their faces were filled with fear. Boss Wang, come over here and kill them. Ha ha ha. Invincible in battle technique stood behind the Yidali obliteration cannon and shouted at Wang Xian. His tone was filled with arrogance. Wang Xian moved and immediately came to Invincible Battlemage's side. How is it, Boss Wang? Is my weapon powerful? Invincible Battlemage looked at Wang Xian with a smug look on his face. Powerful. Wang Xian nodded his head sincerely. The last time, Invincible Battlemage took out a lore fragment which had already shocked Wang Xian. This time, he took out such a terrifying cannon which shocked him even more. This fellow, he had too many good things. Ch, since you dare to attack us, take another shot from me. As Invincible said that, he placed his palm on the Yidali Obliteration Law 9 True Cannon. Energy gathered on it. Oh no. 9 fiery red sparks gathered on the cannon. Each law gathered on it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Boom, boom, boom. Another strange sound. However, in the eyes of the Star Beast Tower's experts, this activation sound was like a grim reaper. Quickly escape. At this moment, the faces of everyone from the Star Beast Tower changed drastically, and their faces were filled with terror as they fled into the distance. There was even one person whose figure was illusory as he directly fled back to his eternal divine kingdom. Boom. With a boom, the cannon was aimed at the 4th senior brother of the Star Beast Tower. Seeing the destruction law cannon that was attacking him, he was shocked. Block it. With bloodshot eyes, he roared and ordered his battle pet to block the attack. Peng. However, just like the old man, the golden snake was instantly destroyed. The terrifying attack continued to fly into the sky. When the 3rd senior brother and the others saw this, their foreheads were filled with cold sweat. Their faces were extremely pale. In front of such a technological weapon, they simply didn't have the ability to block it. Ha ha ha, I let you guys be arrogant. You actually dare to attack Boss Wang. With just you guys, Ch, do you really think that your Star Beast Tower is awesome? Would I, Invincible in battle techniques, be afraid of you guys? Invincible in battle techniques laughed arrogantly. Everyone from the Star Beast Hall stared at Invincible in battle techniques. Boss, the engine has been turned off. We are going to escape. While Invincible in battle techniques was shouting arrogantly, Wang Xian's voice rang in his mind. Huh. Wang Xian was stunned for a moment. Then, his face turned dark. He thought that this guy's Edan Obliteration Principle 9 True Obscuring Cannon could kill all the opponent. Let's go. However, Wang Xian also knew that it was already very impressive to be able to kill 2 experts at the peak of the Eternal Lord level. The next moment, he waved his arm and stored the Yidali Obliteration Principle 9 Samadhi Cannon for his invincible battle tactics. Energy enveloped him and he fled into the distance. When they saw Wang Xian and the rest escaping, the people from the Star Beast building were obviously stunned. They paused for a full 3 seconds before they reacted. Chase them. They have used up all their trump cards. Chase them. 4th senior brother roared with bloodshot eyes. His peak Eternal Lord battle pet was dead. It had been completely destroyed by the cannons. This was a battle pet that his master had given him. Once it was dead, his master might not help him tame it anymore. Let's go. Let's catch up before the confinement circle disappears. 3rd senior brother's expression changed. He gritted his teeth and immediately chased after them. 3 peak Eternal God Lord experts had come to Star Beast Hall this time, and 2 of them were peak Eternal God Lord War Pet. With their strength, It was not difficult for them to capture a peak eternal God Lord. However, now that the two of them had fallen, they would have to pay a price if they wanted to capture the other party. However, at this moment, they had to capture those two damnable fellows no matter the cost. Splash! Wang Xian entered the river above the waterfall with his invincible battle techniques. In the water, his speed suddenly increased by a lot. Buzz! Around him, the nomological powers of the 5 elements revolved. The mud and water at the bottom of the sea had no effect on him at all. Instead, it helped him escape. Behind him, the people from the Star Beast Hall were left further and further behind. Boss Wang, your speed is so fast. Boss Wang, have you reached the peak of the Eternal Lord? Isn't your increase in strength too fast? It doesn't make sense at all. Invincible battle technique was enveloped by Wang Xian's energy. As he felt this terrifying speed, his eyes widened slightly. The first time he met Wang Xian, he couldn't even fight against a level 6 sea monster of the Eternal Lord. The second time, he captured a level 8 sea monster of the Eternal Lord. However, they were still being hunted down by the level 9 Eternal Lord. But now, even though they were still being hunted down, he had unleashed the peak combat strength of the Eternal Lord. In just 2 short months, his improvement was too terrifying. Chapter 2359. 2359 2359 Kill the Flood Dragon. I was severely injured in the past and couldn't bring out my full strength. Now, I'm recovering bit by bit. Wang Xian casually said that he was invincible in terms of combat techniques. His eyes sparkled as he sensed the pursuers from the Star Beast Tower. With his current strength, it was very easy for him to escape from the pursuers. As a master of the 5 elements of yin and yang, he could travel through the ground, trees, metal, and water. Without these obstacles, it would be very difficult for the opponents to keep up with his speed. Boss Wang, you didn't have any enmity with the Star Beast Hall in the past, right? Why did they send so many experts to hunt you down? Invincible battle technique was deep in thought when he heard Wang Xian's explanation. However, he didn't think too much and changed the topic. No, this is the first time I've met them. Wang Xian shook his head. He was also a little puzzled when the people from the Star Beast Hall wanted to capture him. Even if he had a conflict with invincible battle technique and the rest in the Star Beast Hall, he shouldn't have spent such a huge price to capture him. Just the value of a confinement ring was already quite valuable. Could it be because Boss Wang cured the young immortal king? Is that crocodile god king jealous of you? It shouldn't be. A mighty god king shouldn't be so stingy. A puzzled look appeared on Invincible Battle Technique's face. It's really possible. Wang Xian said indifferently. Heavenly Dharma Sect's Supreme Elder Lung said that Crocodile God King was narrow-minded. It was really possible that he sent his disciples to attack him. The fact that he could cure the young immortal king was also a kind of ability. A man is innocent, but a man with treasure is guilty. Wang Xian sighed slightly in his heart. This was because the city in the sky knew that he had a powerful and special formation. Hence, they had always wanted to capture him, and the godly king of the Star Beast Tower knew that he could heal the young immortal godly king. Hence, he wanted to capture him and have a look. Even Wang Xian had no enmity with them. However, sometimes, wealth could move one's heart. This was also the reason why Wang Xian did not dare to reveal his godly dragon body. There was definitely a legend of the divine dragon in this bright land. If he revealed his divine dragon body, people would know that he was a divine dragon and might have thoughts about him. Since you are coveting the things on my body, you will have to suffer my revenge. A hint of killing intent flashed across Wang Xian's eyes as he fled quickly with Invincible Battle Technique. Including this time, Invincible Battle Technique had already saved him twice. The last time, he had given him a multicolored dragon python. Forget it, I'll repay this guy when I have the chance. Although Invincible was unreliable, he was still very powerful at the critical moment. Especially this time, if he hadn't taken out that great killing weapon, there was a high chance that he would have died here. He would remember this favor in his heart. How can this guy be so fast? At the back, the third and fourth senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower were looking forward with an extremely embarrassed expression. At the front, Wang Xian's figure had already disappeared. On the shoulder of the third senior brother, the eight-eyed war pet's pupils were flashing with a luster. A ray of light that was invisible to the naked eye appeared. If it wasn't for the pursuit of such a war pet, they wouldn't know which direction Wang Xian had gone to. Damn it! If we can't catch him this time, not only will we suffer heavy losses, we won't even be able to complete the mission given to us by our master. The two of them looked extremely embarrassed. They never expected that it would be so difficult to catch a beast tamer master. They also never expected that the other fellow would possess such a powerful weapon. Phew! After flying for more than an hour, they could no longer see the figure of the other party behind them. Wang Xian stopped in his tracks. "Boss, are you going to set up a formation to kill them?" Seeing that Wang Xian had stopped, Invincible's eyes lit up as he asked. Back then, when Wang Xian was at level 8 of the Eternal Lord, he even dared to kill a level 9 powerhouse. Not this time. Wang Xian shook his head. His strength had just increased this time, and he had yet to master the formation. However, Wang Xian was not in a hurry. Just as Invincible thought, when he was at level 8 of the Eternal Lord, he dared to kill a level 9 powerhouse. Now that they were at the same level, Wang Xian was really not afraid of the powerhouses of the Star Beast Hall. The Immortal King was forbidden to enter this place. It was not difficult for him to kill the people from the Star Beast Hall here. "Boss Wang, let's go and subdue some peak-level Eternal Lord Warpets now. When the time comes, we can kill our way back." Invincible's eyes lit up as he said that. "Okay, this time, I promise to exchange 1 or 2 peak-level Eternal Lord Warpets for you," Wang Xian said to him. "Ha ha ha, then Boss Wang, we have a deal," Invincible Battle Technique said excitedly. Wang Xian nodded his head. The value of the Jomei True Cannon in Invincible Battle Technique's hands was not something that 1 or 2 peak-level Eternal Godlord Battle Pets could compare to. Such a powerful weapon was much more valuable than a battle pet. "The confinement circle that has locked onto me has disappeared. Let's investigate the surroundings first. It would be even better if we can find the nest of the desolate beast." Wang Xian used his energy to wear down the confinement circle and make it disappear faster. As he spoke to Invincible Battle Technique, he immediately flew into the sky. Most of the Star Beast planet was filled with dense trees. It had a completely primitive appearance. Wang Xian and the rest were located beside a mountain range. From time to time, the roars of desolate beasts could be heard from within the mountain range. There must be desolate beasts in the deep mountains and forests. "Boss Wang, should we go into the mountain range and take a look?" Invincible in Battle Techniques said. "Yes, let's go." Currently, all the Immortal King-level desolate beasts of Star Beast Planet had gone to the Beast King Divine Kingdom. With his current strength, he was basically unafraid of any living beings. Of course, he still had the confinement circle locked onto him in the sky. He had to be careful of bumping into the desolate beasts at the peak of the Eternal Godlord level. Wang Xian's body moved and flew straight up the mountain range. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. However, just as they reached the top of a mountain peak, numerous water swords attacked them one after another. Wang Xian and Invincible Battle Technique were slightly taken aback. Buzz. Wang Xian waved his arm and directly destroyed the 2 water sword. "No one is allowed to enter within 100 kilometers of this place. This place has already been occupied by us, the Divine Flood Dragon Clan." At this moment, a shout rang out. 2 young men flew out from the position in front of them and stared coldly at Wang Xian and Invincible Battle Technique. "Huh! These 2 guys who haven't even reached the Eternal Lord dare to act so arrogantly in front of us." Invincible Battle Technique swept his gaze across the 2 people in front of him and said with a face full of disdain, "Our race has already occupied this place. If you know what's good for you, scram immediately." When the 2 young men heard the words Invincible in Battle Techniques, their faces turned ugly as they shouted again. Since when can 2 people disregard the dignity of the Divine Flood Dragon Clan? "If you don't leave now, don't leave." As soon as the 2 of them finished speaking, more than 30 people flew over from the side. 3 old men were in the lead. There were both strong and weak people. "Hey! It's those 2 guys." Among the more than 30 people, a young man suddenly raised his eyebrows and stared coldly at Wang Xian. Chapter 2360. 2362,360 kills under the name of Jiao Ming. Jiao Ming squinted his eyes as he sized up Wang Xian and his invincible battle techniques. He didn't expect to meet them so fated. Jiao Ming, do you know them? One of the elders who was in the lead asked him when he heard Jiao Ming's astonishment. Third Grandpa, I've seen them before. They are from the Tianzi continent. Jiao Ming said indifferently as he looked at Wang Xian and the rest. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. This place has been occupied by us, the Divine Flood Dragon clan. Both of you, scram immediately. As he spoke, he took 2 steps forward and stared at Wang Xian and the rest with disdain. Jiao Ming. Wang Xian looked at him and narrowed his eyes slightly. Hey! It's you, you silly dog. Invincible in combat recognized him as well. This fellow was meddling in the affairs of the Star Beast building, which made him very angry. He stared at Jiao Ming and said with a cold face, You are courting death, who are you talking about? When Jiao Ming heard his words, his face revealed an extremely angry expression. The killing intent in his eyes was not concealed at all, and a sharp sword appeared in his hand. You dare to speak rudely to our young master Jiao Ming? The faces of several young Jiao clansmen turned cold, and their faces were filled with frost as they locked onto invincible battle technique. A few of the experts from the Divine Flood Dragon clan also frowned slightly. In an instant, waves of incomparably terrifying auras charged towards invincible battle technique. FUCK, if my Yi Da Li obliteration law true cannon still has shells, I will definitely kill him. Invincible battle technique sensed waves of terrifying auras locking onto him. His expression changed slightly as he muttered softly. Invincible of battle techniques didn't have a good impression of this fellow. In fact, he even wanted to kill him. I think all of you are seeking your own death. The elder in the lead moved his palm slightly and a confinement ring appeared in his hand. I'll give you 3 seconds to apologize to the disciples of the Divine Flood Dragon clan immediately and get out of our sight. Otherwise, all of you can stay here. He stared coldly at Wang Xian and his invincible battle techniques as he spoke in a sinister tone. Hee. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings while his dragon eyes of the yin-yang and 5 elements swept across the surrounding. His palms moved immediately as he stared at the group of people from the Divine Flood Dragon clan. The corners of his lips curled up slightly. Condensing a formation? Are you really courting death? The faces of the few experts from the Divine Flood Dragon clan turned cold. One of the elders in the middle did not hesitate at all as a long saber appeared in his hand. Buzz. His figure moved and appeared in front of Wang Xian in an instant. The long saber in his hand slashed towards Wang Xian with great force. Bang! The long saber landed on Wang Xian's body and produced a violent collision sound. What? The elder's eyes widened instantly. He was filled with disbelief. He was a mighty level 9 Eternal Lord, yet he could not break through the opponent's defense. A flea, and you dare to provoke me again and again. You don't know what's good for you. Wang Xian did not even look at the old man. His gaze landed on Jiao Ming as he said disdainfully, "Black hole disturbance." As soon as he finished his sentence, he spat out 2 words softly. Buzz. His arm tapped lightly on the formation in front of him and expanded towards the surroundings at a terrifying speed. The black hole disturbed the air and directly enveloped everyone present. Boss Wang, kill them all. Ha ha ha, kill them all. This group of people doesn't even have a peak stage Eternal Lord expert, yet they still dare to be so arrogant here. Seeing the drastic changes in the surroundings, invincible battle technique revealed an excited look in his eyes. He knew that Wang Xian's formation could trap a level 9 Eternal Lord. Not good. When the old man's attack was blocked by Wang Xian, the members of the Jiao celestial race had a bad premonition. When he saw the strange space that suddenly appeared around him, his expression changed. The old man who was holding a long saber in front of Wang Xian also had a drastic change in expression. He immediately retreated backward. Buzz. Wang Xian moved his body and grabbed the old man's neck before the old man could retreat. Oh no. The old man's expression changed drastically. Attack. Kill him. The expression of the leading expert from the Divine Flood Dragon tribe changed drastically when he saw this scene. Immediately, he shouted loudly, "Buzz!" The expression of the old man who was caught changed drastically. His eyes were filled with fear and his figure was slightly illusory. He wanted to escape immediately. What? However, very soon, an extremely shocked expression appeared on his face. He realized that he couldn't return to his eternal divine kingdom. He wasn't locked by the confinement circle, but he couldn't escape. This was the first time he had seen something like this. Chumph, if you want to blame someone, blame that stupid thing, Jiao Ming, for killing you. Wang Xian stared at the old man whom he had captured with a mocking expression. The 5 elements annihilation law landed heavily on his body. No, no, don't kill me, don't kill me. Bang! The old man roared in horror and begged for mercy. Wang Xian waved his arm and threw his corpse directly at the group of people who were attacking him. The strongest among this group of people was only at level 9 of the Eternal Lord. Their strength was not bad, but they were still nothing in front of the current Wang Xian. Not good. The faces of the group of people who were attacking Wang Xian changed drastically. The momentum on their bodies immediately disappeared. A hint of fear appeared in their eyes. An expert at level 9 of the Eternal Lord was killed so easily. How was this possible? This. At the back, Jiao Ming looked at this scene in a daze. His eyes widened and his body trembled. How could this be? That Wang Xian's strength was clearly not that strong. Run back to your eternal divine kingdom immediately. An old man was filled with shock and immediately roared loudly. Where was the disregard and indifference from before? Buzz, buzz, buzz. Upon hearing the old man's words, the figures of the experts began to turn illusory. However, they soon discovered something terrifying. I can't return to my own eternal divine kingdom. I can't return. What's going on, Elder? What's going on? I can't return. The experts realized that they couldn't escape, and their faces were filled with terror. Gulp. Impossible. This is impossible. How could this be? No. Jiao Ming's face was filled with anxiety as he sensed his own eternal divine kingdom. His forehead was filled with cold sweat. Ha, you trash still want to kill us? Escape. In the hands of our boss, you still want to escape. Invincible fighter saw the fear on everyone's faces. A mocking smile appeared on his face. Dog, why is there cold sweat on your forehead? Why are you all pale? He stared at Jiao Ming and mocked. You. What are you trying to do? Our Jiaoshan tribe belongs to the heavenly Dharma sect. Our ancestor is the immortal godly king. If you dare to kill us, our ancestor will not let you off. Jiao Ming looked at Invincible battle technique and Wang Xian and shouted, You are the one who is courting death. Wang Xian stared at him and his face turned cold. A flea was jumping around in front of him. Wasn't this courting death? Chapter 2361. 2361 2361 Hunt 1. He. Arrogant, continue to be arrogant. You are a piece of trash. Boss Wang can easily crush you to death. You actually dare to tell us to scram, and even make us bear the consequences. I'm asking you now, are you panicking? Is it exciting? Invincible battle technique looked at Jiao Ming's pale face, and his face was filled with pride. This fellow had always been extremely arrogant. Just now, he even told them to scram. Now that he looked like this, Invincible battle technique felt extremely good. This little brother, let us go. As long as you are willing to let us go, we are willing to take out all of our treasures. An Eternal Lord level 9 powerhouse's face was also filled with cold sweat as he spoke in a low voice. Let you all go? Is that possible? Wang Xian swept his gaze across everyone and a cold expression appeared on his face. A level 9 master of the Eternal God had already been killed. If he didn't kill all of them, would the ancestor of the Divine Flood Dragon clan let him go? All of you will die today. Blame the name of the Flood Dragon. As Wang Xian spoke, he waved his arm and an incomparably huge palm appeared. The gigantic palm attacked everyone. It's over. When everyone saw Wang Xian's killing intent, their hearts sank. Many of them revealed a look of despair. It has nothing to do with us. It was Jiao Ming who provoked you. It has nothing to do with us. I don't want to die if I want to kill you and kill him. A young man begged Wang Xian for mercy with a face full of fear. On the side, Jiao Ming's expression kept changing when he heard his words. His clenched fists were bleeding. He didn't want to die either. He was also very unwilling to die. Jiao Ming never expected that his opponent would be so strong. Furthermore, there was such a strange formation that trapped all of them here. He was the proud son of heaven of the current generation of the Jiao celestial race. His future was limitless. He had only lived for over 1,000 years. He didn't want to die. Kill. Even if I have to die, I will bite him. An elder at level 9 of the Eternal Celestial Master gritted his teeth and attacked Wang Xian with a face full of despair. It was better to die than to wait for death. Bang. Unfortunately, his attack landed on Wang Xian's gigantic 5-elemental law palm and was immediately defeated. When the law palm landed on his body, it cracked rapidly. Buzz. The old man's corpse was sent flying to the side. He did not even let out a scream. When they saw the old man's death, the rest of the members of the divine flood dragon tribe were filled with despair. Soon, screams rang out one after another. Jiao Ming stood there and looked at this scene with a face full of fear. His body was trembling non-stop. I don't want to die. Please don't kill me. He was on the verge of breaking down as he shouted loudly. Soul Catcher. Wang Xian didn't kill him directly. He waved his arm and cast Soul Catcher. Bang. After casting Soul Catcher, he waved his arm and killed him directly. He was just an ant that could be killed easily. He didn't use Soul Catcher to get them to retrieve the Eternal Kingdom one by one. This was too much of a waste of time. It wasn't safe here. Buzz. After storing all the corpses in the mother nest, Wang Xian removed the black hole disturbing formation. Ha ha ha, Boss Wang is invincible. Beside him, Invincible's face was filled with excitement. He opened his mouth and came over. Let's go to the front and take a look. This place is sealed by the members of the Divine Flood Dragon clan. There should be some treasures here. Wang Xian smiled faintly and said to him, All right, Boss Wang. Go and tame the ultimate war pet of the Eternal God Lord. Invincible's eyes lit up. Boom. Boom. Ha! However, at this moment, Wang Xian sensed a wave of energy flying towards him. He turned his head around and a hint of killing intent flashed in his eyes. The members of the Star Beast Tower are chasing us. Wang Xian said to Invincible with a cold expression. What? These damn guys are still chasing us. Boss Wang, kill them. Invincible battle technique roared with bloodshot eyes. Wang Xian enveloped it with energy and entered the mountain below. It's here. At the next moment, a voice rang out. The third and fourth senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower flew over with extremely ugly expressions. The third senior brother looked at the war pet on his shoulder and scanned his surroundings with a gloomy face. Senior brother, there's no one here. The fourth senior brother checked his surroundings and frowned slightly. COO, cuckoo. The war pet on the third senior brother's shoulder cried out twice, and the two eyes in front of him emitted a dark yellow light. Whoosh. Be careful, it's below. Suddenly, an urgent voice sounded from below. Third brother quickly reminded him in a stern voice. At the back, a wound appeared on the cheek of a middle-aged man. His face was filled with fear as he touched it. His heart was beating rapidly. Let's go. Wang Xian waved his arm and grabbed a drop of fresh blood. With his invincible battle technique, he dashed through the mountain range and flew in one direction at a rapid speed. His speed was so fast that even the people from the Star Beast Tower didn't have time to react. Damn it! Seeing Wang Xian leaving in an instant, the people from the Star Beast Tower looked extremely embarrassed. Chase. Third and fourth senior brothers immediately followed closely behind and chased after Wang Xian. Although I don't know how they managed to follow me all the way, it's still good to follow. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he looked at the few drops of blood in his hand. These few drops of blood could also allow Wang Xian to control the position of the other party. While Wang Xian was escaping, he was digesting the memories of the Flood Dragon's name. As the most outstanding Heaven's Pride disciple of the current generation of the Flood Dragon God clan, the Flood Dragon's name should know a lot of things. Wang Xian had specially read his memories. There's actually an unexpected surprise. It's about the Star Beast Tower. A few minutes later, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Jiao Ming had a very good relationship with the son of the first senior brother of the Star Beast Tower. This time around, many people from the Star Beast Tower had entered the Star Beast planet. The Star Beast Tower was founded more than 500,000 years ago by the Crocodile God King. Now, there were 10 successive disciples. Each successive disciple possessed the strength of a peak eternal lord. In addition to these 10 disciples, the Star Beast Tower also had 5 peak eternal god lord expert. The Star Beast Tower had more than 100,000 disciples, and each of them had powerful battle pets. Their combat power was very strong. It was not an exaggeration to say that the Star Beast Tower's strength could rival that of any one of the 4 major forces in the Heaven Selection continent. This time, when the Star Beast planet opened, the Star Beast Tower had more than 1,000 expert disciples enter. They were divided into 3 waves, and all of them should have entered by now. The son of the first senior brother of the Star Beast Tower followed the 5th senior brother of the Star Beast Tower to the Star Lake. He was prepared to tame the 2 peak stage eternal god lord war pets in the Star Lake. Since the Crocodile God King has ordered his disciples to attack me, I can't just sit around and wait for my death. Wang Xian licked his lips and a cold look appeared in his eyes. He sensed that the experts from the Star Beast Tower behind him had been temporarily shaken off. His body moved and he immediately flew up into the sky. Boss Wang, we've already shaken them off. Where should we go next? Invincible battle technique looked behind him and heaved a sigh of relief. Let's go to the Star Lake. I want to see who is the hunter and who is the prey. Wang Xian said coldly. The hunt had begun. Chapter 2362. 2362 2362 Hunt 2. Star Beast Planet was about the same size as the Tianzi continent. Star Source Planet and Star Beast Planet were considered hostile planets. Every few hundred years, a large number of desolate beasts on Star Beast Planet would attack Star Source Planet under the leadership of the undying God King Desolate Beast. Some Star Source Planet warriors guessed that they came to attack because there were too many desolate beasts on Star Beast Planet. They either occupied new territories or reduced the number of desolate beast. Every attack would last for a month or 2. Tens of billions of desolate beasts would attack from all directions. Every time a desolate beast attacked, there would be hundreds of millions of casualties on the Star Origin planet. Many Eternal God Lord level experts would perish. This was because at that time, desolate beasts would come to risk their lives. Eternal God Lord level desolate beasts would not flee even if they were heavily injured. This resulted in the experts on the Star Origin planet not being able to escape. This was because once they returned, it would cause their strength to decrease. Therefore, every time the Star Beast planet invaded, it would be a dark battle. A huge calamity. The humans on the Star Origin planet knew a lot about the Star Beast planet. Under normal circumstances, they would also enter the Star Beast planet. However, they didn't dare to engage in large-scale battles. Even Eternal God Lord level 8 or 9 battles had to be careful. If they attracted the attention of the Star Beast planet's undying Emperor Desolate Beast, they would be done for. Star Lake. In the memories of the Flood Dragon, there was this lake. Star Lake was adjacent to Xinghu River. Xinghu River was very famous on Star Beast planet. It was the territory of a powerful undying Emperor Desolate Beast. Usually, the people of Star Beast Tower did not dare to step into Star Lake. They were afraid of attracting the attention of the undying God King Desolate Beast. However, after the undying God King Desolate Beast left, the warriors of Star Beast Tower brought their disciples over. At this time, at the edge of Star Lake, Star Beast Tower's 5th brother led over 100 Star Beast Tower warriors as they looked at the huge lake in front of them. 3rd senior brother and 4th senior brother are temporarily busy. With our strength, capturing the 2-star Chilean desolate beasts in the Star Lake might be a little dangerous, but as long as we are prepared, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. 5th senior brother of the Star Beast Tower looked at the people beside him and said, Fifth Elder, with the god-locking rope given by the godly monarch, together with Fifth Elder's battle pet and 12th Elder, it shouldn't be too much of a problem to deal with the 2-star Chilean desolate beast. Leave the rest of the desolate beasts to us, an elder said to Fifth Senior Brother with a smile. Yes, it shouldn't be a problem. Let's tame these 2-star Chilean desolate beasts as soon as possible and then go to the next place. Yang 2 and the rest are still waiting for us there. Fifth Senior Brother nodded and gestured to the surrounding people. Everyone nodded, and with a move, they flew straight into the Starquake Lake. There were 2 desolate beasts at the peak of the Eternal Godlord realm in the Star Lake. They had already investigated them thoroughly. These 2 desolate beasts at the peak of the Eternal Godlord realm were one of their target. When the group entered the Star Lake, 2 figures slowly appeared on the right. The people from the Star Beast Tower. Boss Wang, how did you know they were here? Invincible Battle Technique bowed and asked in a low voice when he saw the group of people who had entered the Stellar Lake. I got it from the name of the Flood Dragon. This information is in his interspatial ring. Wang Xian gave a perfunctory reply. His yin-yang and 5 elements dragon eyes stared at the location below. Let's go, we'll follow behind. Wang Xian immediately said to Invincible Battle Technique and entered the water. With his identity as a divine dragon, entering the water did not cause any ripples. According to his calculations, it would take at least 20 minutes for 3rd and 4th Senior Brothers of the Astral Beast Tower to catch up to him. 20 minutes was enough. It was enough for him to finish his hunt. After entering the Stellar Lake, Wang Xian immediately looked ahead. Although the Stellar Lake was said to be a lake, its area was extremely vast. With his speed, it would take him more than an hour to fly to the other side of the lake. The depth of the lake was more than 100 kilometers. The entire bottom of the lake was paved with jade stones. It was extremely beautiful. Wang Xian had been maintaining a distance of nearly 100 kilometers from the people from the Star Beast Tower. At this distance, they wouldn't be able to discover him at all. If Wang Xian didn't have the dragon eyes, he wouldn't be able to see clearly from such a distance. The people from the Star Beast Tower had obviously come prepared. They flew straight to the center of the lake. They flew for half an hour before they stopped. At the bottom of the lake in front of them, there were many holes. The holes were not pitch black. Instead, they were emitting a water blue light. Around the holes, there was a type of sky blue undersea godly grass. These godly grass were all at the level of an eternal god lord. In the center, there was a godly tree. This place was a paradise. Don't leave the range of the red fiery golden Lion King's king skin. Prepare the god-locking rope. When the people from the Star Beast Tower were about to approach, their bodies suddenly turned illusory and soon disappeared completely. There was only a dark golden fur floating in the air. It looked a little strange. This was the fur of the head of the red fiery golden Lion, the battle pet of the crocodile god king. This fur could hide their figures and auras, and it was completely undetectable by the desolate beasts at the peak of the eternal godlord realm. Hey! This treasure's effect is very strong. Wang Xian had been following behind them the entire time and was looking at it with a face full of astonishment. As expected, this Star Beast Tower has a set of tricks up their sleeves. It was not so easy to tame a battle pet at the peak of the Eternal Lord realm. Even if one had found their nest, one had to be able to approach it and trap it in an area by surprise. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to capture it if it were to escape directly. Apparently, the Star Beast Tower had its own unique way of doing things. Everyone was covered by golden fur until they were about 1,000 meters away from the entrance of the desolate beast nest. Among them, there are 2 at the peak of the Eternal Lord level. 5th Senior Brother of the Star Beast Tower has a battle pet at the peak of the Eternal Lord level. There are a total of 3 of them. We can't let them capture it so easily. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to kill them. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he stomped his feet lightly on the bottom of the lake. Buzz. A wave of energy was transmitted towards the entrance of the cave. Roar, roar, roar. The next moment, a cold roar sounded from the entrance of the cave. Oh no! The expressions of the experts from the Star Beast Tower who were preparing to lay down the god-locking rope changed slightly. They could not understand how their group was discovered by the desolate beasts inside. Attack immediately. The god-locking rope must first control a star-Chilean desolate beast. Fifth senior brother's expression changed when he saw that he had been discovered by the desolate beasts. He immediately ordered loudly, "Roar, roar, roar." At this moment, two huge figures rushed out from the two caves. Each of them was about 20 meters tall and had a sky-blue body. Their heads were similar to that of a Chilean. The two-star Chilean desolate beasts launched their attacks the moment they saw the intruders from the Star Beast Tower. Roar. At this moment, powerful roars could be heard from the surroundings of the Star Lake. Although they weren't as intimidating as the two-star Chilean desolate beasts, they couldn't be underestimated either. Hehe, this is our chance. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. Chapter 2363. 2363 2363 Hunt 3. 12th Elder, we will hold back the two-star Chilean desolate beasts at the peak of the eternal God-Lord realm. The rest of you will fight against the others. At the bottom of the Star Quake Lake, fifth senior brother of the Star Beast Tower shouted with a solemn expression. All right. The 12th Elder immediately nodded. With a wave of his arm, a sky-blue water cloth-type weapon appeared in front of him, directly attacking the two-star Chilean desolate beast. Roar, roar, roar. Beside fifth senior brother, a long golden snake appeared beside him. The snake opened its mouth, and an extremely cold golden light directly attacked. At the same time, its body moved, instantly entangling a peak eternal god Lord Star Chilean desolate beast. Behind him, fifth senior brother took out the god locking rope, his cold gaze locked onto a Star Chilean desolate beast. Roar. At the bottom of the surrounding lake, the rest of the Star Chilean desolate beasts roared and attacked the experts from the Star Beast Tower. The entire bottom of the star-moving lake immediately turned chaotic. Boss Wang, are we waiting for them to suffer heavy losses? At the back, Invincible battle technique was obviously very excited when he saw this scene. He spoke to Wang Xian. The Star Chilean desolate beast is not their match. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he began to set up the formation. He did not set up the formation in the surroundings. Instead, he set it up on the 5 elements millstone. When he was about to use it, he could release it instantly. Wang Xian had yet to master the offensive formation. The formation he had mastered was not effective against a peak stage Eternal Lord. He did not set it up. Wang Xian's gaze swept ahead. The Stellar Beast Tower had one more peak stage Eternal Lord powerhouse. The Stellar Unicorn Desolate Beast would not be their match. At this moment, Wang Xian had to kill an expert at the peak of the Eternal Lord level. You wait here. I'll go over. Wang Xian spoke to Invincible battle technique and flew straight ahead. The Star Chilean Desolate Beast was a type of aquatic beast. Wang Xian approached the battlefield. With a thought, his dragons might landed on the body of a level 3 Star Chilean desolate beast. Roar. The Star Chilean desolate beast trembled slightly and flew straight towards Wang Xian. Buzz. The Star Chilean desolate beast flew over and opened its mouth slowly. Wang Xian wrapped himself in energy and directly entered its mouth. Wang Xian had learned this move from the experts in the city in the sky. Get close to the golden snake. Wang Xian immediately gave the order to the level 3 Star Chilean desolate beast, the master of the eternal god. The reason why he targeted the metal snake was because its intelligence was relatively low. The chances of him being discovered were not high. As long as he grasped the opportunity, he could kill it in one strike. Roar. The level 3 Star Chilean desolate beast of the eternal lord swayed its body and stared at the golden snake. In the middle of the battlefield, the golden snake was entangled with a Star Chilean desolate beast at the peak of the Eternal Lord realm. The other desolate beasts did not dare to approach it. At the side, fifth senior brother and the 12th elder were working together to fight the other one. The god-locking rope had already wrapped around half of its body. Although there was an accident, they were still confident in capturing 2 desolate beasts at the peak of the Eternal Lord realm. The Star Chilean desolate beast controlled by Wang Xian bypassed the surrounding attacks. It swayed its body and carefully attacked the golden long snake. When it was about 10 kilometers away, it suddenly accelerated and attacked the golden snake at a terrifying speed. It waved its claws and stared at the long snake's body. This star-Chilean desolate beast's actions could be said to be very stupid. The level 3 Eternal Lord was challenging the peak of the Eternal Lord. He was instantly killed and didn't even have the chance to escape. Bang! Hiss, hiss, hiss. At the front, the star-Chilean desolate beast at the peak of the Eternal God Lord struck the body of the golden snake heavily, causing it to fly backward. The direction it flew towards was exactly where Wang Xian was. It extended its golden tongue and its eyes were filled with blood-red fury. When it saw that there was actually an ant that wanted to attack it, its expression became even more furious. Hiss, hiss. All of a sudden, the golden snake opened its huge mouth. A golden light flashed and the star-Chilean desolate beast was swallowed into its stomach. The behavior of the golden snake stunned Wang Xian for a second. He could feel that the star-Chilean desolate beast that he controlled was rapidly corroding. What a pleasant surprise! A smile appeared on Wang Xian's face. He never expected that this golden snake battle pet would actually swallow the star-Chilean desolate beast directly. The heavens are helping me. Bang! Wang Xian's arm slowly turned into a dragon claw. A destructive force of the 5 elemental laws that was filled with deathly stillness appeared. Hiss, hiss, hiss. At this moment, the golden long snake that was entangled with the peak of the Master God suddenly revealed a look of extreme fear in its eyes. Its body stiffened as it shook its body violently in extreme pain. Hoo-hoo. In front of it, the peak God Lord star-Chilean desolate beast seized the opportunity to bite its head. Ka. The terrifying biting force directly bit off the golden snake's head. After its head was bitten off, its body continued to move violently. However, soon, it was covered by a surge of energy and its aura disappeared. Not good, Jin Xiao has been killed. The 5th elder looked at his dead battle pet in shock and roared in disbelief. Roar, roar, roar. Another peak god Lord star-Chilean desolate beast directly attacked the god locking rope. Not good, 5th elder, we are in trouble. The 12th elder's expression changed drastically. It was extremely difficult to capture a desolate beast of the same level one-on-one, even if they had powerful divine weapons. Damn it, how could Jin Xiao be killed by that star-Chilean desolate beast? The 5th elder widened his eyes, his face still filled with disbelief. His battle pet was tamed by his master for his disciples. Jin Xiao divine snake strength was definitely one of the stronger ones at the peak of the eternal godlord realm. Now, he was actually killed directly. He did not even notice it before he was killed directly. Let's go. The mission has failed. 5th senior brother's face was extremely gloomy as he roared indignantly. His war pet was dead. It was basically hopeless to tame 2 peak stage godlords. Want to escape? Hehe, let's just stay here. Wang Xian, who was hiding in the body of the golden owl divine snake, didn't come out. He waved his arm and threw out the 5 elements millstone. Buzz. In the next moment, the entire world underwent a huge change. A black hole disturbance formation appeared. What's going on? The sudden change in the surrounding space caused 5th senior brother's expression to change drastically. He stared at the surrounding space in horror. What's going on? What's this? Is this a formation? Why did a formation suddenly appear? Everyone's expression changed drastically. Return to the eternal divine kingdom immediately. 5th senior brother's expression was gloomy. The sudden death of his battle pet and the sudden change in the surrounding space gave them a bad premonition. It was as if someone was scheming against them. What? 5th elder, I can't return to my eternal divine kingdom. I can't go back. At this moment, a middle-aged man shouted with a face full of fear. Chapter 2364. 2364 Hunt 4. How is this possible? I can't go back either. What exactly happened? It's this space. These black holes are tearing our bodies apart. At this moment, at the bottom of the star lake, everyone's faces were filled with shock as they scanned their surrounding. This 5th senior brother and the 12th elder's expressions changed slightly. Their hearts sank. Break open this space. 5th senior brother immediately ordered loudly. Roar, roar, roar. But at that moment, What responded to him was the roar of a star-Chilean desolate beast. A group of humans had come to attack them. At that moment, how could they, who were filled with savagery and blood, let the other party off so easily? One by one, the star-Chilean desolate beasts charged towards them. Damn it! Fifth senior brother and 12th elder's hearts sank. Lead them to the edge of the array formation, 12th elder immediately said. All right. Fifth senior brother nodded. Now, they could only lead the two star-Chilean desolate beasts to the surroundings of the strange array formation and use the opportunity to break it open. The two of them faced the two star-Chilean desolate beasts with ugly expressions. As they fought, they dodged to the edge of the array formation. At the same time, they kept scanning their surroundings. This terrifying space appeared too strangely. They were afraid that there might be people ambushing them. The two of them were on high alert as they fought for a full 5 minutes before they managed to lure the two star-Chilean desolate beasts to the side. The other party might be outside. The two of them scanned the surrounding space, but they did not find anyone. They looked at each other and said, "It's possible. Even if we have to break this strange formation, we have to be careful." The 12th elder immediately said, "After this strange space is broken, return to the eternal divine kingdom immediately." Fifth brother ordered loudly. Yes. Below, the experts from the Star Beast Tower responded loudly. At this moment, there were already casualties among them. More than 10 people had died out of more than 100 people. It's time to make a move. Wang Xian looked at the sky and revealed a smile on his face. Yin and Yang flickered on his body and slowly enveloped him. In such a state, he was almost comparable to the thorned dragon species. He carefully emerged from the body of the golden owl divine snake. The people from the Star Beast Tower would never have thought that he would be in its stomach. Fifth senior brother was even more surprised. Wang Xian's figure was illusory as he approached little by little. The two of them drew the shockwaves from the attacks of the two star-Chilean desolate beasts at the peak of the God-Lord realm onto the black hole disturbing array formation. The array formation would collapse soon. Wang Xian approached little by little. When he was about 5 kilometers away from fifth senior brother, he narrowed his eyes slightly. Get lost. In front of him, the gigantic body of the star unicorn desolate beast was charging at him with the power of the law. His face was flushed red as a stream of resplendent water elemental law landed on his body. This is the time. Wang Xian seized the opportunity. His body flashed instantly and the law of darkness and light shot out from his body. As if time had stopped, Wang Xian appeared behind him in the next moment. The fatal strike was aimed at his head. Die. It's impossible to kill me. Fifth brother felt as if his heart had stopped. He felt the danger behind him and his face was filled with horror. However, his body instantly released a stream of water ripples. The water ripples were brilliant and wrapped around his body. Illusion. Die. Wang Xian's pupils constricted slightly. His body was an illusion and his arm was extended to the top of his head. A terrifying destructive force landed on his body. Bang! After the attack ended, Wang Xian didn't hesitate and fled into the distance. His palm was cut off by the water wave. He has the defense left behind by the immortal king. Wang Xian thought to himself as he looked at his fifth senior brother from the Star Beast Tower. At this moment, his head had been crushed and his entire body was starting to crack. However, with the life force of an eternal God Lord, he could escape even if he was only left with his blood. Raw. But the star-Chilean desolate beast would not let go of such a good opportunity. Their enemy was heavily injured, so they did not care about the reason. They directly devoured fifth senior brother. No. He slightly opened the flesh gap on his head, wanting to open his mouth and roar. Boom. The next second, he entered the darkness. Fifth elder. Beside him, the 12th elder's expression changed drastically as he shouted in a stern voice. Not good, fifth elder is dead too. How is this possible? How could fifth elder be killed? Upon hearing this voice, everyone from the Star Beast Tower trembled as they looked over in horror. That star-Chilean desolate beast didn't chase after me. Very good. Wang Xian smiled when he saw that the star-Chilean desolate beast at the peak of the God Lord realm didn't attack him and was charging towards the 12th elder. He turned his gaze towards the rest of the people from the Star Beast Tower. Die! Since your Krak God King wants to kill me, I won't show you any mercy. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a sinister look as he charged straight towards the 100+ people from the Star Beast Tower. Not good. Help us, 12 elders. That person is charging towards us. An elder who was at level 9 of the Master God level had sensed everything just now. When he saw Wang Xian charging towards him, his face turned pale. The 12th elder, who was asking for help, glanced over and clenched his teeth tightly. He couldn't even deal with 2 dire beasts of the same level by himself. How could he have the time to save people? Die. Wang Xian moved his body and turned his arm into a dragon claw. He attacked the people from the Star Beast Tower directly. No, who are you? Why are you trying to kill us? The people stared at Wang Xian in horror and asked loudly. Boom, boom, boom. Wang Xian did not respond at all. With a wave of his arm, he charged towards the people from the Star Beast Tower. His body emitted a huge amount of dragon might. The group of Star Unicorn Desolate Beasts stared at Wang Xian in horror and let out a low roar. However, they did not attack him and Wang Xian did not kill them either. There were more than 100 disciples from the Star Beast Tower. The strongest one was at level 9 of the Eternal Lord. In this space, it was not enough for Wang Xian to kill them. In just a minute, more than 100 people from the Star Beast Tower were killed. The last young man was killed after Wang Xian used soul capture. That young man was the son of the Star Beast Tower's eldest senior brother. Oh no! Seeing all the disciples from the Star Beast Tower being killed, the 12th elder's face changed drastically. His heart was pounding violently. You actually dared to sneak attack us. Our crocodile god king will not let you off. He swept his gaze across Wang Xian and roared furiously with his blood-red eyes. Hee. Wang Xian glanced at him with some disdain. He stood at the side and quietly digested the memories of that young man. As the son of the Star Beast Tower's eldest senior brother, this young man's understanding of the Star Beast Tower was not something that a dragon could compare to. The battle continued. Halfway through, Wang Xian strengthened the black hole disturbance formation. Wang Xian stood there and watched quietly. The entire battle lasted for more than 10 minutes. The 12th elder of the Star Beast Tower was killed by 2 desolate beasts. Although the 2 desolate beasts were severely injured, that fellow was completely dead. Chapter 2365. 2365 2365 Kill 5. Roar. In the space where the black hole disturbed the air, 2 Star Chilean dire beasts at the peak of the Eternal Lord stared at Wang Xian and let out a roar. Clearly, they were warning him. Buzz. Wang Xian did not make a move. He had already wasted a long time here. He wanted to go to the next place. He waved his arm and removed the black hole disturbing air formation. Boss Wang. Seeing Wang Xian appear, Invincible battle technique, who was waiting outside, shouted immediately. Let's go. Wang Xian nodded at him and said immediately. Gulp, Boss Wang, you didn't tame the Star Chilean Desolate Beasts at the back. Invincible battle technique looked at the group of Star Chilean Desolate Beasts staring at them coldly and asked weakly. No, I'm not their match. Wang Xian replied with a dark face. Have you killed those guys from the Star Beast Hall? Invincible battle technique asked. Yes, I used 2 peak stage Master God level Star Chilean Beast. Wang Xian replied. Oh, what a pity. A peak stage Master God level Star Chilean Beast is good as a mount. Invincible battle technique mumbled in disappointment. After we finish off the people from the Star Beast Hall, we will get you a battle pet at the peak of the Master God level. Wang Xian said to him. Haha, Boss Wang is really a good brother. From now on, you will be my boss with Invincible Battle Mage. Invincible Battle Mage laughed out loud. He looked around and asked, Boss Wang, where are we going? The Sea of Star Beast. Wang Xian replied indifferently and flew forward quickly. Not long after Wang Xian left, a few figures appeared. 3rd senior brother, this is the Star Lake. Aren't 5th junior brother and the rest capturing the Star Unicorn Desolate Beast at the Star Lake? That guy actually escaped to this place. Among the figures, there were 6 people on the Golden Owl Divine Snake. Fourth senior brother scanned the surroundings and asked with a slight frown, "Goo goo 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 goo." Third senior brother looked at his war pet and nodded. Those two damn guys did come here, and they stayed here for a long time. If they stay here for a long time, fifth junior brother and the others should be able to meet them. Contact fifth junior brother. As fourth senior brother spoke, he immediately took out his communication device and began to contact. No reply. Soon, he frowned slightly. Third elder, fourth elder, we can't contact the people following fifth elder either. At this time, the 6 experts of the Star Beast Hall at the rear also began to make contact and quickly replied. Could something have happened to fifth brother and the others? A bad premonition suddenly rose in fourth senior brother's heart. No, their strength isn't weak either. 3 peak Eternal God Lord's combat strength. That guy isn't a match for junior brother and the others. Third senior brother immediately retorted. He looked at the Star Lake and frowned slightly. The Star Lake was one of the Star Beast Hall's targets this time, and it was a more important target. Let's go down and take a look. This time, third senior brother did not follow the tracks and continue chasing. Instead, he flew towards the bottom of the lake. With their strength, they did not need to worry about the desolate beasts at the bottom of the lake. Their actions were somewhat unrestrained. Roar roar. Just as they neared the center, a roar was heard. The expressions of third senior brother and company changed slightly. Why aren't fifth brother and company at the bottom of Star Lake? According to the time, they should be here. We still can't contact them. Fourth senior brother's expression changed slightly as he stared at the 2 peak God Lord Star Chilean desolate beasts in front of him. The 2 Star Chilean desolate beasts are injured. There's a bloody smell around them and traces of battle. Third senior brother's expression did not look good. He had a bad premonition in his heart. Hiss, hiss. At this moment, Jin Xiao Divine Snake suddenly stuck out his tongue and let out a rapid sound. Oh no. At this moment, third senior brother's face changed. Fifth junior brother's battle pet is dead. He growled with a gloomy face. What? Fourth senior brother's face changed dramatically, and his body trembled. The battle pet is dead, and now fourth senior brother and the others can't contact it. Could it be? He widened his eyes, which were full of shock. Behind him, the experts of Star Beast Hall also changed their faces. In order to chase after the 2 youths, they had already lost an elder and a peak God Lord mount. If the 5th elder and the 12 elders were also killed, the Star Beast Hall would lose 5 peak God Lords. This was too terrifying. Third elder, what should we do now? An expert asked with a slightly pale face. Continue to chase. If we can't catch him within a day, report to master. Third senior brother gritted his teeth and said with a livid face. So many people had died because of this matter. If master blamed them, they could not bear it. Let's go. The group immediately flew out of the Stellar Lake and continued to pursue them according to the information sent by their battle pet. In front of us are the powerhouses of the Star Beast Hall. They know that there is a level 6 desolate beast lair of the Eternal God Lord. There are more than 500 people from the Star Beast Hall here. At this moment, Wang Xian had already arrived at the edge of the Star Beast Sea. According to the information recorded by the young man, he narrowed his eyes slightly and stared ahead. On the Golden Beach, there were huge rocks in front of them. There were more than 500 people gathered on the entire rocky beach. The strongest one was an Eternal Lord level 9 powerhouse while the rest were below level 9. However, all of them were at the level of Eternal Lord. Wait here, I'll go and kill them, Wang Xian said to Invincible battle technique. TSK, this darn guy from the Star Beast Tower. It's the most unfortunate choice to offend Boss Wang. No, it's also their misfortune to offend Invincible battle technique. When Invincible battle technique saw Wang Xian rushing out, a look of sympathy appeared on his face. In his eyes, the current Boss Wang was insanely powerful. At the very least, none of the experts who were at the peak of the Eternal Divine Lord of the Battle Technique's aristocratic clan were as powerful as Boss Wang. The time of killing was very fast. It was over in just a few minutes. Not a single one of them managed to escape. Wang Xian also received some useful information from them. The younger generation of the Star Beast Tower was following the disciples of the Heaven Dharma sect and the Overlord sect for training. There were a total of nearly 1,000 people. There was also an expert with more than 100 people heading to the lair of a group of desolate beasts to capture them. Based on the memories he obtained, Wang Xian immediately flew towards the direction of the 100 over people. With his full speed, he should be able to arrive in 20 minutes. Wang Xian brought his invincible battle technique and continued his hunting journey. 10 minutes later, third and fourth senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower followed the tracks and rushed over. However, before they reached the edge of the Sea of Star Beasts, they had a bad feeling. Quick, quick, more than 500 experts from our Star Beast Tower are preparing to tame the heavenly turtle desolate beast horde near the Sea of Star Beast. Fourth senior brother growled in a low voice. He was feeling a little uneasy. The rest of them clenched their fists tightly. If the people from the Star Beast Tower in front of them were also killed, then they would feel some fear. Chapter 2366. 2366 on the Furious Star Beast Tower. Third Elder, Fourth Elder, we can't contact the disciples near the Star Beast Sea. Third Elder, Fourth Elder, we went to the Heavenly Turtle Nest, but we didn't find anyone from our Star Beast Tower. In front of the beach in the Star Beast Sea, the third and fourth senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower led a group of people and rushed over anxiously. Soon, they received news one by one. The disciples of their Star Beast Tower were not here. They could not contact the other party. It was somewhat similar to the situation at the Star Beast Lake. They could almost be sure that the fifth elder and the group of people at the Star Beast Lake had already died. What about the people here? Almost 90% of them had already been killed. Damn it, those two fellows actually dared to kill our Star Beast Tower's disciples. He's trying to challenge the God King's dignity. Third senior brother's body was trembling slightly. Master had ordered them to capture the other party, but now it was their people who were being hunted crazily instead. Up until now, more than 500 people had been killed by that guy. The weakest among them had already reached the Eternal Godlord realm, and there were several peak godlords. This was a huge loss for the Star Beast Tower. How did they know that our Star Beast Tower's disciples were moving? Fourth senior brother stood there with a gloomy face, clenching his fist. Not good. Suddenly, third senior brother immediately looked at the war pet on his shoulder. Coo coo coo. The war pet cried out and sent a message to him. Is there any movement from our Star Beast Hall disciples in that direction? He pointed in a direction and asked with a gloomy face. Third elder, there seems to be a desolate beast lair at that place. An elder said with a frown. Damn it, inform them immediately. Tell them to immediately escape back to their eternal divine empire. We will go there immediately, quickly. Third senior brother's expression changed drastically as he shouted at the group. Yes. The rest of the group's expressions also changed drastically. The two of them immediately notified the people in the other direction to immediately flee. They actually dare to wantonly hunt down the disciples of our Star Beast Tower. We absolutely cannot let them off. Destroy the family faction that they belong to. Fourth senior brother's face was blood red as he roared with a face full of killing intent. Hey! Deacon Wu sent us a message. He wants us to run back to our eternal divine kingdom immediately. At this moment, an old man who was 50 million kilometers away from them looked at the content on the communication stone plate and said to the people beside him with a slight frown, Deacon Wu, why do you want us to run back? The people looked at the old man with astonishment. It's an order from Third Elder and Fourth Elder. Someone is hunting down our Star Beast Tower's disciples. Soon, when the old man saw the following news, his expression changed drastically. He swept his gaze across the surroundings, and a hint of shock appeared in his eyes. An order from Third Elder and Fourth Elder. Everyone, immediately return through their eternal divine kingdoms. The old man immediately ordered loudly. The rest of the people were shocked and did not dare to disobey. They were prepared to return immediately. If you want to escape, it's too late. At this moment, they suddenly felt the space around them change greatly. A voice entered their ears. Seeing the change in the space around them, the expressions of everyone in the Star Beast Hall changed drastically. A bad premonition surged into their heart. RRRRR. However, they no longer had the chance to do so. Soon, screams of agony rang out. There were only about 10 to 20 experts at the peak of the Master God level in the Star Beast Tower. This time, there were 6 of them. This was already a very large number. Other than third senior brother and the rest, there were only 3 experts at the peak of the Master God level at the Starquake Lake. In addition to the combat pets at the peak of the Master God level, the Star Beast Tower had already attached great importance to the opening of the Star Beast planet this time. However, without a peak stage Master God level powerhouse to oversee the operation, it would be too easy for Wang Xian to kill them. Next place. Wang Xian flew out and spoke to Invincible battle tactics. Then, he continued to fly towards another place. The next hunt would be even easier. This was because all the eternal Master Gods had been killed by Wang Xian. Buzz. In the sky above the Star Beast planet, third senior brother and the rest of the Star Beast Tower were flying unscrupulously. Oh no, third elder and fourth elder, we've lost contact with them. We were able to maintain contact just now, but now it's suddenly cut off. All of a sudden, on the body of the Golden Owl Divine Snake, an old man holding a communication stone plate had a drastic change in expression as he cried out involuntarily. What? The bodies of the third and fourth senior brothers stiffened, and flames burst out of their pupils. I told them to return to their eternal divine kingdom immediately and keep in touch, but they haven't responded to me yet. The elder continued, his face changing non-stop. The other party was totally toying with them, they were chasing after them, while the other party was constantly hunting the disciples of the Star Beast Hall in front of them. This was a complete provocation and contempt for them. Faster. Third senior brother's face was extremely ashen. Also, immediately notify the other disciples of our Star Beast Tower and have them all escape immediately. Very soon, he immediately opened his mouth and ordered. Third elder, we can't contact any of the Eternal God Lord level experts of our Star Beast Tower. The rest are all God level disciples. Will he kill us? An elder's expression changed as he spoke. His words caused everyone's faces to sink. Now that the God Realm disciples were undergoing trials, they could not return to their own divine kingdoms. If they wanted to return, they had to fly back. It was too easy for a peak Eternal God Lord expert to kill them. If they dare to kill our disciples, they will fight to the death in the future. We, the Crocodile God King, will not let them off. Fourth senior brother roared with bloodshot eyes. They had more than 1,000 disciples coming to the trial this time. They were the future pillars of the Star Beast Hall. Once they were really lost, the Star Beast Hall would not be able to recover without a few thousand years. Moreover, after these disciples, many of them were people with whom they had a deep relationship. Inform them to hide first and see if they can get the experts from the Heavenly Dharma Gate or the Overlord sect to help protect them. They definitely don't dare to provoke the Heavenly Dharma Gate and the Overlord sect. Third senior brother immediately said. The Heavenly Dharma Gate and the Overlord sect could be said to be true overlords. To dare to provoke them was simply courting death. Fourth senior brother and the others nodded slightly, but they knew that the chances of the Heavenly Dharma Gate and the Overlord sect protecting their disciples were not very high. It was not that the other party did not agree, but that the experts who followed the group of trial disciples could not be stopped without the existence of a peak Eternal God Lord. Now, they could only quickly contact the trial disciples and let them escape as soon as possible. A few deacons immediately held the communication stone plates and continuously contacted the disciples. Starwolf Forest, a forest that was not very big. This was not a very big forest. It was a very big forest for an Eternal God Lord level expert and a God level expert. At the very least, they would need more than 10 days to cross the forest at high speed. At this moment, in the Starwolf Forest, about 2,000 young people were training inside. Among the 2,000 disciples, there were more than 500 disciples from the Starbeast building and more than 1,000 disciples from the Heavenly Dharma sect. Chapter 2367. 2367 in the Star Beast Hall of 2367's Rage. Brothers of the Star Beast Hall, if you have the chance later, you can help us tame some Star Wolf Desolate Beast. Haha, that's easy to say. Brother Gu Yuan, since you have spoken, We will definitely do our best. In the Star Wolf Forest, a group of people gathered together. The group of young men and women in the lead were chatting and laughing. Although the Star Beast Hall was not on the same level as the Heavenly Dharma Gate and the Overlord sect, the disciples of the Star Beast Hall were still quite popular. Most importantly, the disciples of the Star Beast Hall could tame desolate beasts. Which youth did not want to have a mount? About 2,000 people walked towards the Star Wolf Forest. The disciples' training was mostly group training. This was because every few hundred years, when desolate beasts invaded, humans would form battle formations to deal with them. No one below the eternal God Lord would fight alone. Therefore, their training was to fight a group of desolate beasts together. The Star Wolf pack in the Star Wolf Forest was a very good choice. Brother Liu, I heard that many of your Star Beast Hall's top experts have entered this time and are preparing to tame a peak eternal God Lord battle pet. Is there really such a thing? The leading Heavenly Dharma Gate youth curiously asked the Star Beast Hall disciple beside him. There is such a thing, but we do not have the qualifications to know about it. With my current strength, I can at most tame 9 wisps of divine fire desolate beast. A youth said with a smile. Haha, the God Lord level is indeed far away from us. 9 wisps of divine fire are already powerful enough. It won't be long before Brother Liu can become a beast tamer master. I really envy you guys for being able to tame all kinds of battle pet. The Heavenly Dharma Gate youth said with a smile. Joining the Star Beast Tower is our best choice. In the future, our Star Beast Tower will also become stronger and stronger. A few Star Beast Tower disciples raised their heads slightly and said with confidence. The group of Heavenly Dharma Gate disciples also nodded in agreement. Hey! Suddenly, the Star Beast Hall's young man surnamed Liu, who had just spoken, sensed the trembling of the communication stone plate in his interspatial ring and was slightly stunned. He immediately took it out, and when he saw the information on it, his expression changed greatly. A trace of fear appeared in his eyes. Hey! Senior brother Liu Guan? What happened? A Star Beast Hall disciple beside him looked at him and asked in surprise. The deacon sent me an urgent order to have all of our disciples scatter and escape back to the Star Source planet, he said with an uncertain expression. What? Brother Liu? What's going on? A group of Heavenly Dharma Gate disciples looked over in shock. Someone is hunting down our Star Beast Hall disciples. Liu Guan said with an uncertain expression. Who dares to hunt down our Star Beast Tower's people? We, the Crocodile God King, are in charge. Who dares to provoke us? A Star Beast Tower's disciple asked loudly with a face full of shock. That's right. Who wants to hunt us down? They are courting death. The Star Beast Tower's disciples at the side echoed with cold expressions. Their Star Beast Tower originated from the Star Source planet. Being able to slowly rise under the Overlord sect and Heavenly Dharma Gate was enough to prove their strength. Furthermore, they had a good relationship with the 2 great sects. Which faction would dare to hunt them down? Brother Liu, is there a mistake? Who would dare to hunt you down together with our Heavenly Dharma Gate disciples? The Heavenly Dharma Gate disciple raised his brows and asked in puzzlement. Star Beast Tower disciples, your elders have sent us a message. Immediately flee. Peak God Lord experts are coming to hunt you down. At this moment, a figure suddenly flew over from the sky. It's a master of the Heavenly Law sect. Oh no, someone is really hunting us. When all the disciples of the Star Beast Hall heard the words of the master of the Heavenly Law sect, their bodies trembled slightly, and their faces revealed shock. A peak master of the Eternal God Realm is hunting the disciples of the Star Beast Hall? Everyone from the Heavenly Dharma Gate was also filled with shock. A peak Eternal God Lord expert was considered a peak expert in the Heavenly Dharma Gate, and there were less than 100 peak Eternal God Lords in the entire Heavenly Dharma Gate. Every single one of them was an expert who was in charge of a city and a region. Go, listen to the orders of the elders. All the disciples of the Star Beast Tower, flee immediately. The expression of the Star Beast Tower's Liu Guan was uncertain, and he immediately ordered loudly, Yes, yes. The rest of the disciples were also somewhat dispirited as they immediately echoed, Don't go. However, at this moment, a voice exploded beside their ears, followed by a terrifying pressure heading towards them. Hehehe, you bunch of little luo still want to escape, kill yourselves. An extremely arrogant voice sounded. Heh! In the sky, the expression of the powerhouses from the heavenly Dharma gate changed slightly as they looked towards the back. All the disciples from the Star Beast Tower were horrified as they looked towards the sky in horror. Buzz! Wang Xian and his invincible battle techniques appeared in the sky above the disciples from the Star Beast Tower. They didn't hide anything, nor did they hide their faces. They were just floating there openly. It was meaningless for them to hide anything. The Star Beast Tower knew that it was their doing. Therefore, Wang Xian didn't have any scruples at all. Both of you, leave yourself a way out. Don't completely anger the Star Beast Tower and the godly King Crocodile. The powerhouse from the heavenly Dharma sect frowned as he looked at Wang Xian and the other two. Just now, when he received the message from the powerhouse from the Star Beast Tower, he was also slightly shocked. He didn't expect that someone would dare to provoke the Star Beast Tower in such a manner. Now that he saw how young Wang Xian was, he was even more astonished. Haha, a backup plan? The Crocodile God King sent his disciple to kill Boss Wang. Now, Boss Wang and I have killed 3 peak stage Master God level powerhouses, 2 peak stage Master God level powerhouses, and 5 to 600 Master God level powerhouses. What backup plan do we have? Besides, Croc God King wanted to kill us in the first place. Why are we still keeping his disciples from the Star Beast Tower? Invincible battle technique curled his lips when he heard Wang Xian's words and spoke directly. The expert from Heavenly Dharma sect opened his mouth and revealed a shocked expression. Consider yourselves unlucky to have joined the Star Beast Tower. Croc God King wants to kill me. I'm not his match. I just want to kill the people from the Star Beast Tower. Wang Xian swept his gaze across all the disciples of the Star Beast Tower and said in a cold voice. Sometimes, disputes had nothing to do with right or wrong. The Crocodile God King represented the Star Beast Tower. If he wanted to kill Wang Xian naturally had to retaliate. The entire world was like this. Compared to the wars between planets and the battles between races, it was still peaceful. No, no, no. Don't kill us. A young man stared at Wang Xian and said in horror, the mistake is that you guys joined the Star Beast Tower. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with indifference. With a wave of his arm, a terrifying force swept across their bodies. Following that, without any screams, more than 500 disciples of the Star Beast Tower were killed. When the powerhouses of the Heavenly Dharma sect saw this scene, they frowned slightly. He didn't stop them. He had no strength and no obligation to stop them. The enemies that the Star Beast Tower had provoked had to pay the price. Chapter 2368. 2368 Under the Furious Star Beast Tower. When the disciples of the Heavenly Dharma Gate saw Wang Xian killing all the disciples of the Star Beast Tower with a wave of his hand, they were all shocked. All the people from the Star Beast Tower who were talking to them just now were killed so easily. There was no room for them to resist. Just a second ago, the disciples of the Star Beast Tower were proud to say that they didn't regret joining the Star Beast Tower. However, now, gulp. The group of Heavenly Dharma disciples couldn't help but gulp. They watched as Wang Xian and Invincible battle technique took away all the corpses and left. Deacon, who are those two? How dare they? A young man couldn't help but ask the powerhouse in the sky. I'm not too sure. The powerhouse from the Heavenly Dharma sect shook his head slightly. He was extremely shocked that someone dared to kill someone from the Star Beast Hall so brazenly. The Star Beast Hall was founded by the Crocodile God King after all. A God King and a God King battle pet were not something an ordinary faction could afford to provoke. The other party should also have a God King backing them. Otherwise, they would not have disregarded the Star Beast Hall's revenge. He said faintly. Over 1,000 disciples of the Heavenly Dharma Gate nodded in agreement. This world was just so cruel. If the two of them didn't have a godly monarch backing them up, they were almost 100% sure that their family clans and factions would be exterminated by godly monarch Crocodile. Alright, let's continue with the training, the Heavenly Dharma Gate expert said to all the disciples. After hesitating for a moment, he still told the news to the people of the Star Beast Hall. Damn it, damn it. Third elder, fourth elder, all the disciples from the heavenly Dharma gate have been killed by them. When the news reached third senior brother and the others, an old man roared furiously. Crack, crack, crack. At this moment, when the two of them heard the news, they clenched their fists tightly and let out crisp sounds. A terrifying killing intent shot out from their bodies. They should be heading to our Star Beast Tower and the Overlord sect's disciples' training location. Fourth senior brother's face was gloomy as he roared in a low voice. Instant teleportation. We will use instant teleportation to rush over. Third senior brother gritted his teeth and roared with a cold expression. Instant teleportation allowed one to travel at least 10 times faster than flying, and the limit could be 20 times faster. However, the further one teleported, the more dangerous it was. If there was a peak eternal God Lord Desolate Beast at the bottom of the teleportation point, there would be a fluctuation before teleportation. If a Desolate Beast attacked, there was a high chance that a peak God Lord expert would be instantly killed. After all, one could not make a move at the instant of teleportation. Therefore, no one dared to teleport in an unfamiliar place, especially on Star Beast Planet. Not many experts dared to teleport. If they were not forced to do so, they would not have done such a dangerous thing. Let's go. Fourth senior brother and the others gritted their teeth and nodded heavily. They could not care less about the danger now. Their figures moved slightly, and the black hole flashed in front of them, and they disappeared in an instant. The speed of teleportation was very fast. They had only used 2 minutes to cover the distance that would have taken them 20 minutes. Star Earth Desert, this is the place. Third senior brother and the others looked at the desert in front of them and let out a slight sigh of relief. Fortunately, they did not encounter any danger. The members of our Star Beast Tower should have already entered the desert. Come, let's go. Third senior brother said as he flew straight into the desert. A minute later, more than 2,000 figures appeared in their line of sight. Disciples of the Star Beast Tower, your elders are here. In front of the 2,000 disciples, a middle-aged man saw them and immediately said to the disciples of the Star Beast Tower. They had already received the news from the Star Beast Tower ahead of time. It's good that you're all right. Fourth senior brother saw the disciples of the Star Beast Tower and heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Third elder, fourth elder. The group of disciples looked at the elder flying over in astonishment and immediately called out to him. The other disciples of the Overlord sect looked over in astonishment. They had been very puzzled when they were suddenly told to stop. Third senior brother and the others nodded, and their embarrassed expressions eased up a little. Third brother Gua, why is there a peak stage God Lord expert hunting your disciples? What enmity? At this moment, an old man in front of them looked at the third brother of the Star Beast Tower and asked with a smile. Hey, Pavilion Master Murong, you actually came here too. The third brother was slightly shocked when he saw the old man and asked with some surprise. If you have nothing to do, bring the little ones to have some fun, Pavilion Master Murong said with a faint smile, his gaze sweeping over the group of them. What's going on? Some reckless fellows have provoked our Star Beast Tower, we will soon destroy all of them. Third senior brother said with a cold face. Hehe, then take this disciple away. Pavilion Master Murong did not ask further, but said with a smile, yes. Third senior brother and the others nodded indifferently. Hey, Boss Wang, we seem to be late. At this moment, at a spot more than 20 kilometers away from this place, Invincible Battle Technique frowned as he looked ahead. Although we are late, it shouldn't be a problem to kill those 500+ people. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. A group of godly state experts. All he needed to do was to shake his aura and he would be able to kill all of them. Let's go and get closer. As Wang Xian spoke, he brought his invincible battle technique and immediately approached the front. There's someone. When Wang Xian was only 20 kilometers away, Pavilion Master Murong, who was in front of the Overlord sect, suddenly squinted his eyes and looked over. Boom. In the next moment, a terrifying aura attacked them. This is... Pavilion Master Murong's eyes were filled with vigilance as he instantly stood in front of all the disciples of the Overlord sect. What's going on? The sudden burst of pressure caused third senior brother and the others to be slightly startled as they hurriedly turned their heads to look. Pu. However, at this moment, sounds came from behind them one after another. This caused third senior brother and the others' expressions to change drastically as they hurriedly turned their heads to leave. You deserve to die. Fourth senior brother saw that all the disciples of the Star Beast Hall had been suppressed by the pressure. His eyes were blood red as he roared with an icy cold expression. A voice filled with killing intent resounded in the sky above the entire desert. At this moment, their hearts were burning with fury. A group of disciples had actually been killed in front of their eyes. This enmity, this humiliation, it would be difficult for them to vent their anger without killing them. What is this situation? At a side, the disciples of the Overlord sect saw all the disciples of the Star Beast Tower being killed and their faces were filled with astonishment. They didn't know what had happened just now, but all the disciples of the Star Beast Tower had been killed. What a terrifying pressure. However, how much hatred did they have to take the risk to kill so many disciples of the Star Beast Tower? Pavilion Master Murong looked over and his eyes revealed a look of surprise. The pressure attack just now might not be fatal to the Eternal Godlord, but it was a fatal attack to a godly state expert. Chapter 2369. 2369 2369 Young Immortal King 1. Haha, over 1,000 disciples, over 600 Eternal Godmasters, and a few peak Eternal Godmasters. Star Beast Tower, this is the price you have to pay for trying to kill me. Wang Xian looked at the furious Star Beast Tower's experts and laughed heartily. The Star Beast Tower's people wanted to kill him, but now they had finally let out a sigh of relief. Boom. 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 The expressions of the third and fourth senior brothers of the Star Beast Tower were extremely ferocious. They instantly rose into the sky, and an incomparably terrifying power erupted from their bodies. Our Star Beast Tower swears that we will definitely exterminate all of your family members and implicate your entire family. Fourth senior brother stared at Wang Xian with bloodshot eyes and roared crazily. Ha ha ha, implicate your entire family? My unrivaled ancestor is an immortal god king. What the fuck are you talking about? Boss Wang has Shen Tian Sun God Emperor behind him. The two God Emperors behind us can't beat your Star Beast Tower. Are you kidding? You want to kill Boss Wang? What's wrong with taking revenge? Just as he said that, the unrivaled warrior behind him said loudly with disdain. He was unrivaled in battle and was not afraid of the Star Beast Tower. His ancestor was a God Emperor, and he had said that he had found an Overlord God Emperor to take him as a disciple. That made him even more awesome. Star Beast Tower? What was there to be afraid of? You killed so many of our Star Beast Tower's disciples and experts. We, the Crocodile Godly Monarch, will not let you off, even if you have a godly monarch backing you up. An old man from the Star Beast Tower's expression changed as he coldly roared. Pavilion Master Murong, I'll have to trouble you to use the Heaven Domination art to help us temporarily seal them. Our Star Beast Tower will definitely be eternally grateful. Third senior brother looked at Pavilion Master Murong and said with an embarrassed expression. The reason why they didn't attack Wang Xian and the rest immediately was because they knew that the other party was faster than them. It had to be said that this made them extremely sullen. At this moment, if Pavilion Master Murong of the Overlord sect was willing to make a move, they were confident that they could keep the other party alive. The Overlord sect possessed a law-based divine ability created by an eternal godly king. Although they could not fully display it, it was still very terrifying. Wang Xian saw his third senior brother from the Star Beast Tower asking for help from the elder in front of him. He frowned slightly and retreated to the side of Invincible battle technique, ready to escape at any time. Senior, please don't help them. Invincible battle technique is also a disciple of the Overlord sect. My ancestor said that an expert from the Overlord sect is willing to take a kid as his disciple. We are a family. Invincible battle technique looked over and immediately said to Pavilion Master Murong. Pavilion Master Murong was stunned for a moment. Suddenly, a thoughtful look appeared on his face. Let's go. Wang Xian didn't stay any longer. He turned around and fled with his invincible battle technique. He had played enough with the people from the Star Beast Tower. Next, it was time to tame the dire beast. He hadn't gotten his revenge yet. When his strength had increased by another level, he would let the entire Star Beast Tower know the consequences of offending him. This was just the beginning. Go, go. When third senior brother and the rest saw Wang Xian escaping, they let out a ferocious roar and immediately chased after him. Very soon, the figures of Wang Xian and the rest of the experts from the Star Beast Tower disappeared quickly. At the back, everyone from the Overlord sect watched this scene in shock. That guy called Invincible in battle techniques. When he was in the temporary continent, he seemed to have said that he was a disciple of the Overlord sect. At this moment, a female disciple pointed to the place where she disappeared and said with a changing expression, "He isn't our senior brother, right? Our Overlord sect doesn't have such a person. Could it be that he is pretending to be a disciple of our Overlord sect?" A young man frowned and said, "Heh. Pretending to be a disciple of our Overlord sect." The experts from the Overlord sect in front also frowned. No one dared to pretend to be a member of their Overlord sect and bluff. If anyone dared to do so, they would quickly become a dead person. Pavilion Master, that young man. A middle-aged expert looked at Pavilion Master Murong and said with a frown, "He might really become a disciple of our Overlord sect." Pavilion Master Murong's eyes flickered slightly. He was the great-grandson of a godly monarch, so he knew more things. The godly monarch of the Battle Techniques aristocratic clan had seen his great-grandfather before. It seemed that his great-grandfather really wanted to take in a disciple, a closed-door disciple. However, he wasn't very sure. Now that he heard that his battle techniques were invincible, he felt that it might be true. This was also the reason why he wasn't willing to take action just now. Oh! The people from the Overlord sect were slightly shocked, and their faces revealed a look of astonishment. Pavilion Master Murong didn't explain too much. After hesitating for a moment, he immediately reported this matter to his grandfather and several experts from the Overlord sect. Stop! At this moment, in front of them, third senior brother and the others from the Star Beast Tower stopped with faces full of despair. In just 2 minutes, the other party had disappeared. They could not catch up at all. This caused the hearts of the people from the Star Beast Tower to be filled with disappointment and despair. In the entire Star Beast Tower, only a few of them had entered the Star Beast planet. There were less than 10 of them. Everyone else had been killed. Now that they could not catch up to the other party, so what if they did? The other party would be able to return to his eternal divine kingdom in an instant. This matter had to be told to Master and the others. I have already told Master and the rest of the senior brothers about this matter. Third senior brother paused for a moment, took out the communication stone plate, and spoke with a trembling arm. The others were silent and did not speak. Wait for Master's order. After a moment of silence, third senior brother continued. The group of people stood there and waited silently. Boom. At the same time, in the 100 Beast Valley on the Star Origin planet, a terrifying aura suddenly soared into the sky. In the 100 Beast Valley, all the desolate beasts were trembling as they lay on the ground, their bodies trembling. Roar roar. A low roar sounded. The head of the beast was like that of a Chileen, its entire body emitting flames as it flew to the center. This desolate beast was an undying God King level Scarlet Flame Golden Ni Lion. In front of the Scarlet Flame Golden Ni Lion, the skinny crocodile God King with his hair tied up and a beard was staring at the communication stone plate in his hands with killing intent. Temporary continent. He roared coldly, directly riding on the red flame Golden Ni Beast. Howl. Feeling the rage of its master, the red flame Golden Ni Beast let out a howl, flying at a terrifying speed towards the temporary continent. Rumble. In the sky, waves of pressure caused everyone within a radius of a few million kilometers to reveal looks of fear. Crocodile God Emperor, don't show off. Undying God Emperor is prohibited from getting close to Star Beast planet. Within the temporary continent, an old woman's warning voice sounded. Don't worry, I'll make a trip, I'll be back soon. Crocodile God Emperor's expression changed as he roared softly. You dare to violate the rules of our Heavenly Law sect and Overlord sect. At this time, the Heavenly Law sect Supreme Elder Leng's silhouette appeared in space, staring coldly at Crocodile God Emperor. Chapter 2370. 2372,370 Undyings 2. What happened? Crocodile God Emperor actually wants to go to Star Beast Planet. I just heard from my junior that something happened to the disciples of Star Beast Tower. It seems like they were all killed. Now even Crocodile God Emperor can't sit still. Within the temporary continent, everyone saw Crocodile God Emperor riding on an undying God Emperor mount, and the Heavenly Law Sect Supreme Elder's image appeared, their faces filled with shock. Some of the disciples who had some understanding of the situation on the Star Beast Planet whispered to each other. Wang Xian had killed the disciples of the Star Beast Tower twice without hiding anything. Now, the entire Heavenly Dharma sect and the Overlord sect basically knew about it. The Crocodile God King stared at the phantom image of the Heavenly Dharma sect's Supreme Elder Lung with an uncertain expression. He really didn't dare to violate the rules of the Heavenly Dharma sect and the Overlord sect. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. However, when he thought about how all the disciples of his Star Beast Tower who had gone to Star Beast Planet had been killed, he felt extremely unwilling. A little thief had caused them to suffer such heavy losses. If he did not take revenge, he would not be able to take this lying down. The Star Beast Tower has issued a bounty. If any faction is able to kill the 2 disciples of my Star Beast Tower, I will reward 4 peak Eternal God Lord Battle Pets. If I can capture them, I will reward 6 peak Eternal God Lord Battle Pet. I will keep my word. Furthermore, I will protect you from any retaliation. Croc God King sat on the body of the Scarlet Flame Golden Ni Lion and announced coldly, "Hiss, Croc God King has actually issued a bounty. This, killing 2 people from the Star Beast Hall and directly rewarding 4 peak Eternal God Lord Battle Pets. This bounty is too precious." When some people heard the Crocodile God King's reward, their faces were filled with shock. 4 pinnacle Eternal God Lord Battle Pets, to those forces without a God King, this was already the highest level of combat power. Moreover, it was a one-time reward of 4. However, the other party was able to kill a pinnacle Eternal God Lord expert from the Star Beast Hall. It's not so easy to kill him. Some of the experts were deep in thought. The other party was able to infuriate the godly monarch, so he was not a simple character. Master. At this moment, figures with murderous auras flew over from below. The disciples of Crocodile God King and the peak Eternal Lord experts of the Star Beast Hall flew over. Master, allow me to enter the Star Beast Hall. I want to avenge Ning. The leading elder's eyes were blood red as he spoke to Crocodile God King. His body was trembling. An old man had a son. He doted on that son of his very much. Now that he was actually killed, he wanted to take revenge. Master, I heard that 5th junior brother was killed. We will go and take revenge for him. An elder beside him also shouted with a stern expression. Crocodile God King's gaze swept over his disciples and the Star Beast Hall expert. Boss, bring 6th and 7th to meet up with 3rd and 4th. Also, if the peak Eternal God Lord expert assists this disciple of mine in killing the enemy, he will be rewarded with a peak Eternal God Lord Battle Pet. Even if he fails, he will be rewarded with a Tier 9 Battle Pet. Crocodile God King's gaze was ice cold as he spoke again. Yes, Master. Star Beast Hall's eldest senior brother immediately nodded heavily. Croc God King, I am willing to assist Star Beast Hall's Bell expert. We are also willing. At this moment, one figure after another flew in front of Croc God King. Each of them had the strength of a peak Eternal God Lord. Star Beast Planet's opening, in addition to the Star Source planet, there were also more than a dozen planets similar to the Natural Selection continent. Perhaps these more than a dozen planets were not as powerful as the Tianzi continent, but there were still quite a number of peak Eternal God Lord expert. The reward for killing them just now might be a little difficult for them, but now, there was a peak Eternal God Lord Battle Pet helping to kill them. Even if they did not kill it, there would still be a Tier 9 Battle Pet. This was a huge fortune. This time, Crocodile God King could be considered to have put in a lot of money. For a moment, 4 figures flew over. This was also because there were fewer peak Eternal God Lord experts here. Alright, bring this war pet and kill the little brat. Croc God King waved his arm, and a strange war pet appeared. Its master. The Star Beast Tower's experts looked delighted when they saw the war pet in front of them, and immediately responded loudly, "You dare to kill my Star Beast Tower's people. This God King will crush your bones and scatter your ashes." Krak God King growled with a cold face. "I didn't expect the Star Beast Tower to send so many warriors to chase after them. If they directly return to the Eternal God Country, where can the Star Beast Tower find them? I heard it seems like the Star Beast Tower's warriors want to kill them, and they are being hunted by them." Some people saw the Star Beast Tower's warriors enter the Star Beast planet, discussing softly. Crocodile God Emperor sat on his undying God King battle pet, standing there quietly. Heavenly Dharma Gate's Supreme Elder Lung glanced at him and his shadow disappeared. "Boss Wang, there are indeed many desolate beasts in the Star Beast Hall. Haha, if we stay here for a few months, wouldn't we be able to build a God Lord battle pet army?" When the experts of the Star Beast Hall came to the Star Beast planet to hunt down Wang Xian, on top of a mountain range, Invincible Battle Technique looked at the tamed desolate beast in front of him with excitement. It was a level 9 desolate beast of the Master of Eternal God. If it was in the past, he would definitely pounce on it. However, he was no longer interested in it now. He was waiting for Wang Xian to give him a battle pet at the peak of the Master of Eternal God. "Let's go and see if we can tame some battle pets with peak combat strength." Wang Xian smiled at him. He was prepared to tame some battle pets at the peak of the Master of Eternal God here. He was not going to sell these battle pets. Instead, he was going to use them to fight against the city in the sky. Of course, if the war pets he tamed were enough to raise his level by 1 level, he would sell them too. "Let's go to the direction of the ocean," Wang Xian said to him and continued to search for desolate beast. The Star Beast planet's eternal god-level desolate beasts were not common. He was prepared to enter the ocean. Once he entered the ocean, all aquatic creatures below the 4th level of the eternal god level could be ruled instantly. Eldest senior brother. On the other side of the Star Beast planet, 3rd senior brother and 4th senior brother looked at the 7 people and 1 beast in front of them and respectfully called out to the old man in the lead. The Star Beast Tower's eldest senior brother was an expert second only to his master, so everyone respected him very much. "Do you know where those 2 thieves are now?" Eldest senior brother asked them with a cold face. Eldest senior brother, "They haven't escaped yet. The demon I can find them, but their speed is too fast. We can't catch up with them at all. However, Master has sent a golden lion beast. We still have a very high chance of killing it," 3rd senior brother said to eldest senior brother and the others. He looked at the war pet at the side with a trace of excitement in his eyes. Towards those 2 sly fellows, he was furious and helpless. Now that his master had sent the golden beast, the chances of killing it had increased by 50 to 60%. The golden beast was the heir of the undying God King battle pet, the Scarlet Flame golden beast, even though its mother was a pinnacle eternal god lord desolate beast. However, the golden beast was much stronger than normal pinnacle desolate beast. Chapter 2371. 2371 2371 Undying Emperor Cub 3. As long as we can find the 2 thieves, with the golden beast targeting him, we can definitely kill them. Let's go. Star Beast Tower's 1st senior looked at everyone and said to them, "Yes." Everyone immediately nodded, their bodies filled with killing intent. Howl howl howl. On the side, the golden beast let out a howl, its entire body becoming 30 m in size. Everyone immediately jumped onto its body, bringing with them a cold murderous aura. A total of 9 peak eternal godlord experts and a few rank 9 godlords, and this was not even counting the peak eternal godlord battle pet. Such a powerful force could destroy several weak planet. Brother Golden Lion, in the direction of the ocean, the other party might enter the ocean. 3rd senior brother stood on the golden beast and said to it, "Roar roar." The golden beast let out a low roar and suddenly increased its speed. Its speed was much faster than theirs. It was not an exaggeration to say that within the Star Beast planet, very few desolate beasts were its match without the appearance of an undying godly monarch. Hua la. Within the ocean, Wang Xian led his invincible battle technique into the ocean. The 2 of them flew deeper into the sea. The sea of the star beast planet was equally vast. There were all kinds of sea monsters and aquatic creatures wreaking havoc here. They could occasionally bump into aquatic creatures at the level of the eternal God Lord. After going deeper into the sea for more than 100 kilometers, the two of them arrived at the bottom of the sea. The bottom of the sea of the star beast planet was much shallower than that of the Tianzi continent. However, the level of danger was much higher than that of the Tianzi continent. It's more or less the same here. It's still the same old rules. You go and attract them. If you encounter any sea monster nests, inform me directly. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings and said to Invincible Battle Technique, "Don't worry, Boss Wang. Leave it to me." Invincible Battle Technique nodded his head. This was not the first time he had done something like this. He was already familiar with it. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head with a smile on his face. If he was lucky this time, he should be able to obtain a lot of things. Perhaps he could even obtain the resources that he needed to upgrade. However, the resources that he needed to upgrade now were 7 to 8 times more than before. If he wanted to upgrade again, it would take some time. Invincible Battle Technique flew off into the distance as Wang Xian began to set up a formation. Oh right, check out the people from the Star Beast Hall. Wang Xian's heart skipped a beat. He had killed so many experts from the Star Beast Hall. It was impossible to say that the Star Beast Hall had not made any movement. Moreover, an immortal king would definitely not let him off so easily. Buzz. Wang Xian took out a drop of blood and immediately set up the formation to investigate. This drop of blood was left behind by him when he deliberately attacked an Eternal Lord of level 9. It was to control the other party's movement. Heh! When Wang Xian sensed the other party's location through the array formation, he revealed a surprised expression. His expression changed slightly as he set up another array formation. An image appeared in front of him. In the image, more than a dozen figures were riding on a war pet and flying rapidly. They were already in the middle of the ocean. Wang Xian frowned. His face was filled with astonishment. What method did the other party use to lock onto their position? Did they hide their aura? Moreover, there are nearly 10 Divine Lords at the peak of the Divine Lord realm among this group of people. This is not even counting their war pets. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly. With so many experts surrounding him, it would be difficult for Wang Xian to escape even if they surrounded him. They are already close to me. Wang Xian didn't hesitate at all. He immediately flew in the direction of Invincible Battle Technique. If he hadn't checked ahead of time, he might have been in trouble. Even so, it was still very dangerous for more than a dozen experts at the peak of the Divine Lord stage to chase after him. Furthermore, the other party was definitely fully prepared. Unless he escaped back to his eternal divine kingdom now. Wang Xian was still a little unwilling to go back now. He had yet to reap any rewards. Whoosh. Invincible in battle techniques. Let's continue to escape. The experts from the Star Beast Tower are chasing after us. 2 minutes later, Wang Xian saw the figure of Invincible in battle techniques. He immediately grabbed him and fled forward. What? Those bunch of fellows who are courting death still dare to chase after us? Invincible Battle Technique revealed an angry expression. Those two bastards are right in front. Golden Ni lions, lock onto them. Roar, roar, roar. At this moment, an extremely angry voice was heard along with a beast roar. Crack, crack, crack. When the beast roar was heard, the surrounding seawater started to crack. The seawater was like a mirror. What is this? Wang Xian's pupils constricted slightly. This effect was actually similar to the disturbance of the black hole. However, unlike the disturbance of the black hole, this state could not be maintained for more than a few seconds. Moreover, it could not trap people. Run. Wang Xian did not hesitate at all. He brought his invincible battle technique and ran forward. Roar, roar. Behind him, the golden Ni beast immediately gave chase. Waves of terrifying barbaric aura charged towards Wang Xian. The moment he tried to escape back to the eternal divine kingdom, he would be interrupted. What a fast speed! Wang Xian flew forward and sensed the speed at the rear. A look of surprise appeared on his face. However, he didn't panic at all. In the ocean, it was impossible for the other party to catch up to him. What a fast speed! At the rear, the Star Beast Tower's eldest senior brother and the other peak stage master gods looked at Wang Xian's speed with shock on their faces. The golden Ni lions were already fast enough, but they couldn't catch up to him. This made their faces extremely ugly. You bunch of beasts from the Star Beast Tower. You can't even catch up to them. Why the fuck are you chasing after them? Get lost. It's already good enough that we're not bickering with you. How dare you chase after us? Invincible battle technique cursed at them with a face full of anger. He was waiting for Boss Wang to help him tame the main war pet of the eternal god. Damn it, I will definitely kill all of you. I will definitely take your heads. Behind them, the experts from the Astral Beast Tower roared crazily. Who doesn't know how to brag? I still want to take your heads. Invincible battle technique shouted disdainfully. Roar roar. Everyone was so angry that they let out a beast roar. Their faces were extremely ferocious. Wang Xian had been flying at high speed. Behind him, the people from the Star Beast building were chasing him relentlessly. After chasing him for a full hour and nearly 100 million kilometers, they still didn't give up. This bunch of lackeys. Invincible battle technique had been scolding them from behind. His face was dark. They had been chasing him for more than an hour. Even if we have to chase you out of the Star Beast planet, we will not let you off. The experts of the Star Beast building gritted their teeth and growled in a low voice. The reason why they did not give up after chasing for such a long time was because they were waiting for a peak godlord battle pet to suddenly appear in front of them. Once it appeared, the other party's speed would be obstructed. At that time, they would be able to kill it. Hoo. After chasing for another 10 minutes, the golden Ni beast suddenly let out an uneasy roar. Its speed suddenly decreased by a lot. Chem. Brother golden Ni beast. Above, the people from Star Beast Tower were stunned. They immediately asked the golden Ni beast. Roar. The golden Ni beast slowly stopped and looked ahead uneasily, letting out a roar. Brother golden Ni beast, you said that ahead is the undying God King Desolate Beast Domain? Star Beast Tower's first senior's expression change. Chapter 2372. 2372 Undying's Infant 4. Howl. A low howl came from the golden Ni beast's mouth. It stared ahead fearfully. It was restless. It turned its head and looked at the group on its body, shaking its head slightly. It's the domain of the Undyings. The golden Ni beast doesn't dare to enter, eldest brother said with a serious expression. He looked ahead and frowned. Even if the undying God King Desolate Beast is not here, there are many peak eternal God Lord Desolate Beasts in there. The people from Star Beast Tower were helpless. Entering there was extremely dangerous. But if they did not enter, the two of them could escape or be killed by the Desolate Beasts in there. The possibility of the former was higher. We will guard here. It's impossible for him to pass through the undying God King domain. If he wants to come out, he can only come out from here. The expression of the Star Beast Tower's eldest senior brother fluctuated as he ordered the rest of them. Yes. The rest of them could only wait here. Boss Wang, they're not chasing us anymore. At this moment, unrivaled battle technique and Wang Xian, who were unaware that they had entered the Immortal King's Desolate Beast domain, heaved a sigh of relief when they saw that they were no longer chasing after them. They should have given up. Chem-ph, they are overthinking it if they want to catch up to us. Unrivaled battle technique opened his mouth and continued speaking. They might be ambushing us or surrounding us. We should fly a distance further in. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the back. He frowned slightly and continued flying forward. Boss Wang, shake them off. Let's go tame the pinnacle war pet of the eternal God Lord. Invincible agreed. Wang Xian flew straight ahead. However, the deeper he flew, the more he felt that something was amiss. There seemed to be a faint pressure in this space. Hey, what's going on? Wang Xian frowned and scanned his surroundings. He didn't sense anything amiss. What's going on, Boss Wang? What's going on? Invincible asked in surprise. There's something strange here. Be careful, Wang Xian reminded him. After hesitating for a moment, he flew to the left. Whoosh! After flying for about 50 kilometers, Wang Xian suddenly felt as though he had passed through something. He was slightly stunned as he looked ahead in astonishment. Boss Wang. At the side, Invincible battle technique suddenly let out a cry of surprise as he stared ahead with his eyes wide open. Wang Xian was also looking ahead as his pupils contracted slightly. A few kilometers away from them, a white desolate beast with a pair of wings and fish scales was staring at them. This desolate beast was about 2 meters in size. It didn't have 4 limbs, but it had a pair of sharp horns and teeth. At this moment, this desolate beast was sizing them up with a face full of curiosity. This wasn't what shocked Wang Xian and the rest. What shocked them was that there were more than 10 desolate beasts with tens of thousands of tentacles around this desolate beast. These more than 10 desolate beasts contained an incomparably terrifying might. Gulp, this Boss Wang, that group of desolate beasts seems to be all existences at the peak of the Eternal Lord level. Invincible battle technique swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said with a face full of shock. Wang Xian's gaze swept over them and his expression was also a little embarrassed. His gaze was fixed on the small desolate beast that was also staring at them. Water vapor desolate beast, Eternal God Lord level 1, level 3 infant of the Immortal King. A piece of information appeared in Wang Xian's mind, causing his expression to change. Level 3 infant of the Immortal King. A level 3 infant of the Immortal King. This was a pup that could be upgraded to the level of level 3 Immortal King. However, Wang Xian soon realized a problem. What was this place? To be able to have a pup of the Immortal King, coupled with the strange feeling just now, Wang Xian had a bad premonition in his heart. Crash. At this moment, in front of them, a group of peak-stage god-level desolate beasts suddenly swayed their tentacles and appeared on both sides. Su. Behind them, 2 gigantic octopus-like desolate beasts appeared behind them, completely sealing off their escape route. Damn it, Boss Wang, we are really unlucky. We actually entered the nest of peak god lord desolate beasts. We have to run. Invincible battle technique's expression changed drastically when he saw this scene, and he said with a bitter expression. This time, he was not talking about running. He was talking about directly escaping back to his eternal divine kingdom. Sigh, when I'm with you, I'm just running for my life. Invincible battle technique couldn't help but mutter. It was too difficult. He was simply too difficult. Try and see if you can return to your eternal divine kingdom. Wang Xian scanned his surroundings. His eyes were filled with vigilance as he spoke to Invincible battle technique. Huh! Invincible battle technique was slightly taken aback. His mind stirred. Very soon, his eyes widened and his face was filled with panic. Boss Wang, what's going on? I can't return to my eternal divine kingdom. What's going on? He spoke to Wang Xian in panic. We should have stepped into the Immortal King's territory. I wonder if this is his eternal divine kingdom. Wang Xian was also embarrassed. He could sense that he could not return to the eternal God country from here. What? Boss Wang, are you kidding me? I'm still young and invincible in battle techniques. I don't want to die. Invincible in battle techniques was really panicking at this moment. The domain of the Immortal King? In addition to the surrounding peak stage godly master desolate beasts, where could he run to? Even if he had a supreme treasure that could defend against attacks, what would he do if the Immortal King desolate beasts came? Boss Wang, think of something quickly. I don't want to be eaten by the desolate beasts. I haven't married yet. Invincible battle technique said to Wang Xian with a sad face. Su. The moment he finished his sentence, the surrounding desolate beasts suddenly attacked him. Wang Xian's expression changed drastically. His body moved and the yin and yang around him revolved, blocking the attacks of the desolate beast's tentacles. Bang! 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 However, the intense collision caused the yin-yang diagram to turn cold. Roar! 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 In front of them, the desolate beasts at the peak of the God-Lord realm were staring at Wang Xian and Invincible battle technique as they attacked again. This time, There were a total of 5 to 6 desolate beasts attacking with their tentacles at the same time. Boss Wang, save me. When Invincible saw the tentacles attacking him, he panicked and shouted in fear. Wang Xian's expression changed drastically. Faced with such overwhelming attacks, there was no way for him to dodge. Boom! The Yin-Yang 5 Elements Bowl's defense was fully activated. Numerous laws were condensed. Bang, bang, bang. Ah! Invincible was sent flying by the tentacles. The treasures on his body allowed him to keep his life. Countless tentacles landed on Wang Xian's body, causing his body to fly to the right. Oh no! His face was a little pale. Blood oozed out from the corner of his mouth. His brain was spinning non-stop. Suddenly, his gaze was fixed on the young immortal king in the middle. A glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. Chapter 2373. 2373 2373 Immortal King Pup 5. Su Su Su. 5 to 6 peak god lords stared at Wang Xian and attacked again. The powerful law energy was contained in the tentacles, causing Wang Xian's expression to change slightly. Boss Wang, save me. From the side, Invincible battle technique let out a series of screams. In front of these desolate beasts, he was just a rubber ball that was being beaten. If it wasn't for the protection of the treasure, he would have been finished long ago. Boom! Wang Xian saw the desolate beasts that were attacking him again. The dragon might on his body trembled and directly covered the young immortal king, ruler. His body trembled and he let out a low roar. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, tentacles landed on his body one after another, causing Wang Xian's expression to change drastically. He felt as though his internal organs were about to collapse. Make them stop. Wang Xian hurriedly gave the order to the young immortal king, roar roar. The young immortal king looked at Wang Xian with respect and let out a roar. Roar roar. The rest of the desolate beasts roared in confusion. A few of the attacking desolate beasts responded one after another. They looked at the young immortal king in confusion. Ao ao. At this moment, the young immortal king flew directly towards Wang Xian. Roar roar. Around them, the desolate beasts hurriedly tried to stop it with their tentacles. Ao ao. The young immortal king roared at them once again. The tentacles shook slightly and did not dare to stop it. Get them out of the way. When Wang Xian saw this scene, his eyes revealed a burning glow. He immediately ordered the young immortal king, Ao ao. The young immortal king roared at them a few times. The group of desolate beasts reluctantly stepped aside, but they were still swaying around it. Get them to retreat. When Wang Xian saw this scene, he frowned slightly and continued to give orders. Ao 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 ao. The young immortal king revealed a ferocious expression as he roared at the group of desolate beasts. Roar roar. The group of desolate beasts was obviously in an uproar as they retreated slightly. Let's go. Wang Xian waved his arm. Without any hesitation, he brought his invincible battle technique and fled to the back. At the same time, he ordered the young immortal king to follow behind him. Roar roar. The young immortal king roared and followed behind Wang Xian hurriedly. Roar roar roar. The group of desolate beasts were obviously panicking. They quickly chased after him and let out roars. Buzz. Wang Xian flew forward and soon sensed that he had flown out of that space. He waved his arm and used his energy to control the young immortal king. Then, he turned around and fled in the direction of his return. Roar roar roar. Behind him, more than a dozen peak-stage god-level desolate beasts were chasing after him crazily. Run. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and led the young immortal king and his invincible battle techniques to escape crazily. Speaking of which, ever since Wang Xian came to this bright land, he had escaped more times than all the others combined. He was still very confident in his speed. Boss Wang, you managed to escape from here. Ha ha ha, you are too amazing. Invincible's battle technique had been beaten up by the desolate beasts just now. He was feeling dizzy and disoriented. When he regained his senses, he was taken away by Wang Xian. He shouted after surviving the calamity. We are not out of danger yet. Wang Xian said and flew away. No wonder the people from the Star Beast Tower didn't follow us. It's because they know that this is the territory of the immortal King Desolate Beast. The people from the Star Beast building must be lying in wait outside. We can't go back the way we came. We have to deviate from the path. Wang Xian thought to himself. He looked to the side and deviated from the path. Roar, roar, roar. At the back, more than a dozen peak-stage god-level desolate beasts let out a terrifying roar. The roar spread over 10,000 kilometers. This is the roar of a peak-stage god-level desolate beast. There's more than one of them. Something is happening inside. At this moment, the Star Beast Hall members who did not dare to enter the Undying God King domain heard the sound coming from inside. Their expressions change. Those two fellows must have provoked a powerful desolate beast. Were they being chased or fought? Fourth senior brother looked inside. The roar is getting closer and closer to us. Suddenly, they realized that the roar of a pinnacle god lord desolate beast was getting closer and closer. They looked at each other, getting ready. That direction. Those two guys are coming out. Chase them. At this moment, they realized that a figure with a powerful aura was fleeing 100 kilometers away. Seeing the blurry figure in the distance, the Star Beast Hall members immediately recognized it. Roar, roar, roar. There are more than 10 peak god lord desolate beasts chasing behind him. At this moment, they saw more than 10 peak god lord desolate beasts chasing after the two thieves. While the Star Beast Hall members were slightly shocked, they immediately came to the Golden Ni Lions and joined in the chase. TSK, 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 Boss Wang is awesome. Behind him, there are more than 10 peak god lord desolate beasts and nearly 10 peak god lord expert. With his invincible battle techniques, he had escaped from danger. The situation where he panicked like a dog earlier was completely gone. He looked at the group of people chasing behind him and said with a smile on his face. Wang Xian ignored him and flew at a terrifying speed. Voila! An hour later, Wang Xian flew out of the ocean and headed straight for the mountain range in front of him. Roar, roar, roar. More than 10 desolate beasts stopped and let out angry and unwilling roars. They did not continue their pursuit. All of a sudden, they looked behind them and looked at the people from the Star Beast Tower. Roar, roar. The leading desolate beast let out a wild roar and attacked them directly. Damn it! Seeing more than 10 desolate beasts suddenly attacking them, the expressions of the people from the Star Beast Tower changed drastically. Don't tangle with them. Get rid of these beasts. The first senior brother of the Star Beast Tower shouted with an embarrassed expression. Bastard! The rest of the experts from the Star Beast Tower had extremely gloomy expressions. With these damn beasts attacking them, it would be even more difficult to catch those two thieves. Buzz! 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 Wang Xian entered the mountain range and directly shuttled through the mountain range. His speed was no slower than the speed in the sky. After flying for more than an hour, he could not sense the figure behind him at all. A smile appeared on his face. Crash! Wang Xian landed on the ground. I've finally gotten rid of this bunch of followers. Invincible battle technique heaved a sigh of relief. How exciting! I've escaped from the immortal king realm. Roar! Roar! At this moment, a low roar came from the side. He immediately looked over curiously. When he saw Wang Xian sizing up the desolate beast in front of him, he sighed helplessly. Sigh, Boss Wang, it has been 2 days since we arrived at the Star Beast planet. Other than a level 9 battle pet, this trashy level 1 Eternal Lord battle pet is the only one. He patted the head of this battle pet with a sense of despair. This one is enough. Wang Xian looked at him with a smile and stared at the desolate beast in front of him with some excitement. The current level 1 Eternal Lord was not wrong, but this was the young immortal God King. Chapter 2374. 2374 2374's excited invincible battle technique. Boss Wang, you have fallen. A level 1 battle pet of the Eternal Godlord is enough. Isn't this desolate beast pretty cool? Could it be a cub at the peak of the Eternal Godlord? Even if it's a cub, it still needs to be nurtured. It's too troublesome. Invincible battle technique looked at Wang Xian as he stared at the battle pet in front of him with burning eyes. As he spoke, he took out a divine fruit from his interspatial ring and ate it. Hee hee. Wang Xian looked at him and smiled. It's a cub that's not bad, but it's not the cub of a peak stage eternal god lord desolate beast. It's the immortal god king cub. What? When Invincible heard the last sentence, he suddenly widened his eyes and stared at Wang Xian in shock. Where do you think this desolate beast came from? Wang Xian looked at him and asked in a teasing tone. Gulp. Bang bang. Invincible battle technique widened his eyes and could not help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. Even the divine fruit in his hand fell to the ground. He quickly looked at the water-woo desolate beast beside him. His body trembled as he stretched out his arm and touched it. Boss Wang, don't lie to me. This is really the young immortal god king. This. He touched the water-woo desolate beast cub excitedly, swallowing his saliva as he said. It's true, water-woo undying emperor cub, undying emperor level 3 cub. Wang Xian nodded his head affirmatively. We're rich, Boss Wang, we're totally rich. That's not right, we're going to rise up, undying emperor level 3 battle pet. Do you know that Crocodile God King's battle pet is only undying emperor level 1? With this battle pet in the future, we are going to rise up completely. Boss Wang, you have to protect me in the future. Invincible battle technique looked at Wang Xian with excitement. He was just short of hugging Wang Xian's thigh. His ancestor was only at level 1 immortal king. Now that this desolate beast was able to advance to level 3 immortal king, it was heaven-defying. Once he grew up together with the battle pet, he would be the immortal king in the future. Wang Xian looked at him and smiled. It was impossible for Invincible in battle techniques to say that. A young immortal king was completely worthless in Wang Xian's eyes. There were more than 100,000 members in the Dragon Palace. The upper limit of any one of them was not something that this young immortal king could compare to. Furthermore, wasting resources to nurture this war pet was enough for him and the members of the Dragon Palace to surpass Immortal King level 3. If I sell it, the resources sold will definitely be enough for me to advance to the Immortal King realm. Wang Xian thought to himself. It was impossible to raise it, so he could only sell it. However, when he saw Invincible battle technique staring at the young Immortal King with burning eyes, he frowned slightly. Last time in the underground sea, this time on Star Beast planet, if I didn't have Invincible battle technique, I might have been killed. Although I won't die, I definitely won't get this young immortal king and I won't kill the people of Star Beast Tower to vent my anger. Why don't I give this young god king to him? Wang Xian was a little hesitant. The value of this young god king was very high. If he sold it, he would be able to advance to the immortal god king realm very quickly. However, if he gave it to Invincible battle techniques, he would have to delay his advancement for a period of time. Forget it, I'll give it to him. Wang Xian was a person who knew how to be grateful. Invincible could attack consecutively. The first time, he used up the lore fragments, and the second time, he even used up the true cannon. Every single one of them was worth a lot. To be able to take out all these items, he was just an immortal godly king battle pet. He wouldn't even take care of them if they were given to him. He could only sell them. Even though he could obtain a huge amount of resources if he sold them, however, it would only delay his advancement for a few days in the future. In any case, the speed of his advancement was already fast enough. Do you want it? If you want it, I'll give it to you. Wang Xian smiled and said to Invincible battle technique. What? Boss Wang, you must be joking. This is a level 3 immortal king cub, a god king cub. Invincible battle technique was slightly stunned when he heard his words. Then, he said with an embarrassed expression, you really don't want it? If you don't want it, I'll sell it. Wang Xian looked at him and asked again, gulp. Boss Wang, are you serious? Invincible asked excitedly when he saw Wang Xian's serious look. What else? Wang Xian looked at him with a smile. Wow, boss, you are my boss for life. You are so good to me. If I were a woman, I would definitely marry you. Boss, I am so touched. It is my fortune for 8 lifetimes to be able to befriend a boss like you. Boss, I will definitely introduce the beauties in my support group to you. No, I will introduce my sister to you. At this moment, Invincible Fighter hugged Wang Xian's thigh with an excited expression and shouted loudly. Get over here. Come here. I want to help you tame it. Wang Xian kicked him away and said to him, Good, good, good. Invincible battle technique got up excitedly and nodded his head non-stop. His eyes were staring at the water element dire beast with burning passion. Buzz. Since Wang Xian had decided to ask this young king of God to give it to him, he didn't feel any reluctance to help him tame it immediately. It's really the young king of God. I can feel the high and mighty aura from its body. Ha ha ha, Invincible battle technique actually has a young king of God battle pet. In the future, my invincible battle technique will truly be invincible. I will truly stand tall in the entire. Alright, stop competing. Wang Xian interrupted Invincible battle technique's thoughts that were about to jump up and down as he said to him, Hee, Boss Wang, Old Wang, an immortal godly king battle pet. Look at how Crocodile God King managed to obtain a level 1 immortal godly king cub. Now that he's doing so well, when I take off, even the heavenly Dharma sect's overlord sect will worship at my feet. Invincible battle technique grinned. Alright, we can't stay on Star Beast planet anymore. Not to mention that Star Beast Tower is still chasing after us. If that immortal God King Desolate Beast sees that its cub is gone, it might come and attack us. Wang Xian said to Invincible battle technique. We really can't stay here anymore. Alright, Boss Wang, let's go back immediately. Shall we go back through the Eternal Kingdom? At this moment, Invincible battle technique had no objections. He hugged the 2-meter-long immortal king battle pet and said with a smile, Fly back. My Eternal Kingdom is too far away from the Tianzi continent. Wang Xian shook his head. His Eternal Kingdom was in the boundless star field. It would take him more than half a month to go back and forth. Good. Boss Wang, in order to avoid that God King Crocodile from scheming against us outside, I'll get the Forefather to come and pick us up. With that said, Invincible battle technique immediately took out his communication stone plate. On Star Beast planet, there was no signal from the AI. Hey, old man. Soon, the picture of the communication stone plate appeared. Invincible battle technique looked at the fat patriarch opposite him as he raised his head slightly and shouted, You little bastard, have you grown wings? How can you talk to me like that? The fat elder in the picture was clearly slightly taken aback as he roared angrily. Chapter 2375. 2375 Undyings welcomed him. Within Starsource planet, Battle Mohen stared wide-eyed with his beard blowing angrily at his invincible battle technique. This punk, he had grown wings, he actually dared to call him old man. Hehe, you punk really needs to be taught a lesson. If I didn't see that your punk has a powerful bloodline, I wouldn't accept such a bratty punk. But it doesn't matter. After that brat becomes my disciple, I'll help you discipline him. At the side, an incomparably tall and sturdy old man sat by the side. When he saw this scene, he chuckled and said, Huff huff. Battle technique Mohen angrily exhaled twice. In the past, this brat was quite jumpy, but he wasn't as arrogant as this time. He actually dared to call me old man? How preposterous. When he returned, he would teach him a good lesson. Hee. At that moment, Star Beast planet's battle technique Invincible saw the patriarch's furious expression. He was completely calm and steady. Old man, come. I want to show you something. Battle technique Invincible raised his head as he continued speaking. He aimed the scene at the water vapor desolate beast cub. You still dare to scream? Let's see if you, punk, want to die. Do you believe that I will roast you and your battle pet? When Invincible battle technique saw the punk's tone, he roared angrily. TSK, I see that you can't bear to roast me and my battle pet. Come, continue to open your eyes and see. Invincible battle technique continued speaking proudly. You rascal, you will die of anger. Boom. Invincible battle technique Mohen roared angrily. However, suddenly, a mighty aura surged from the burly elder's body as he came to his side. Oh! Brother Murong, what are you doing? Invincible battle technique Mohen was slightly taken aback as he looked at him in astonishment. Who? Water vapor desolate beast divine king cub. This is a water vapor desolate beast cub. The burly elder's breathing quickened as he shouted at Invincible battle technique. Hm, who are you? You have much better foresight than my ancestor. That's right, ancestor, take a look, this is the Undying God King cub, Undying God King level 3 water mist desolate beast cub, ha ha ha. Invincible battle technique said proudly to Mohen battle technique. What? He was shocked, his eyes wide, filled with disbelief. An Undying Emperor level 3 cub, this. His strength was only Undying Emperor level 1, as long as he had the resources in the future, this battle pet would definitely become an Eternal God Lord level 3 battle pet. What kind of existence was this? Forefather, where are you right now? Hurry over to the temporary continent to pick us up, we are still being chased by those bastards from Star Beast Tower. When you reach the temporary continent, let us know. Invincible said directly. Good kid, I am on Star Origin planet, you can come over immediately. Invincible's face was filled with excitement. The significance of an Undying God King level 3 battle pet was too huge. Alright forefather, we will go over now, let's not talk anymore. Invincible immediately nodded. Alright, I, Muronkue, will definitely take in this precious disciple. At this time, the tall and sturdy old man beside also roared excitedly. Star Source planet was very powerful, but the strongest was only Undying level 3. His strength was only so much. Star Beast planet had 2 Undying Emperor cubs, they were both Undying level 1, however this water woo desolate beast was an Undying level 3. Its value was naturally indescribable. Boss Wang, my ancestor is on Star Source planet. He should be here to welcome us when we arrive at the temporary continent. Invincible battle technique turned off the communication stone plate and said to Wang Xian, alright, let's go. Wang Xian nodded and brought Invincible battle technique along as they flew towards the temporary continent. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Over there. They're over there. They want to go back. At this moment, a series of angry roars could be heard from the back. As Wang Xian and the rest had stayed here for a period of time, the people from the Star Beast Tower had already caught up to them. These bunch of followers. Invincible battle technique looked over and curled his lips as he spoke. He wasn't worried at all. Wang Xian took a glance and ignored them. With their speed, they wouldn't be able to catch up to him. Moreover, when they arrived at the temporary continent, the Invincible Battle Mage Patriarch was there to welcome them. There wouldn't be any danger. Those guys want to leave the Star Beast planet. Our Krak God King is on the temporary continent. Ha ha ha, if there's really a path to heaven, why don't you take it? If there's no path to hell, he will barge in. When the people from the Star Beast building saw Wang Xian and the rest flying in the direction of the temporary continent, they were extremely excited. Let's not push him too hard. When he gets to Master will be able to crush them easily. Third senior brother roared with a ferocious expression. After chasing him for so long, they felt as though they were being played. Now that he was courting death, his eyes were filled with cold excitement. A bunch of trash. You still want to catch up to us? Dream on. At this moment, a mocking voice came from the front. I hope you guys can continue to be proud of yourselves later. The people from the Astral Beast Tower sneered in their hearts as they stared at them coldly. Wang Xian was flying at a terrifying speed. He even performed a teleportation midway. It was safer in the starry sky. He didn't encounter any danger while teleporting. We're here. In just half an hour, the temporary continent appeared in their line of sight. Wang Xian smiled. Master, it was those 2 bastards in front who killed our Astral Beast Building's disciple. Master, kill him. Lord Crocodile God King, kill those 2. And at that moment, angry roars came from the rear. The roars resounded within a radius of tens of millions of kilometers. Everyone on the temporary continent could hear them clearly. What's the situation? What happened? The people pursued by the Star Beast Hall actually escaped here? On the temporary continent, everyone looked over in astonishment when they heard the voices. Some people immediately looked at the figure riding a mount in the sky. Krak God King had been waiting there the entire time. Oh! He actually dared to escape. Hehe, he's courting death. Krak God King had already received the disciples' message in advance. He looked at the two figures in front of him with eyes filled with coldness and disdain, as though he was looking at two ants. You dare to kill my Star Beast Tower's disciples? No matter who you are, you must die. Crocodile God King's face was filled with dignity as he said coldly. A terrifying imprisonment enveloped them. It was as though his words followed the law. Ha ha ha, you two darn things. You killed our Star Beast Tower's people. Run! Where are you running to? Die. Behind them, the Star Beast Tower's experts saw this scene. Their faces were filled with excitement and savagery, their eyes burning with incomparable fervor. They could finally kill those two damnable fellows. Ha ha ha, Crocodile God King, my descendant isn't someone you can kill. He he, my sect master's disciple isn't someone you can kill either. Then, at this moment, two vast voices suddenly sounded. Chapter 2376. 2376 Planet 2376 was boiling. Two majestic voices rang out, causing the energy that was about to imprison Wang Xian and the rest to collapse instantly. What? When Krak God King heard these two voices, his expression changed slightly. He immediately turned his head and looked towards the sky above him. When he saw the burly old man, his pupils contracted slightly. He actually did not sense when the other party had arrived above him. Why is he here? Krak God King's expression changed slightly. That voice is our sect master. It's the Overlord sect's sect master. His disciple. One of those two is the Overlord sect's sect master's disciple? How is that possible? Our sect master's disciple? Our sect master hasn't taken in a disciple for hundreds of thousands of years. On the temporary continent, everyone looked at this scene in shock. Ha ha ha, forefather, I'm here. I don't want to die blocking the people from Star Beast Tower, and that tall and sturdy grandfather, is he the master you found for me? Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. At this time, the sky above the temporary continent resounded with an invincible and arrogant voice. With a thought, the Water Wu Undying God King Desolate Beast Cub appeared in front of him. He sat on it and raised his head. This fellow is a little arrogant. He's still so arrogant in front of our sect leader. Some of the overlords and disciples frowned when they heard his word. Hoo. However, at the next moment, everyone saw two figures in the sky flying forward to welcome the two youth. Water Wu Undying Godly Monarch Desolate Beast Cub, ha ha ha, good kid, good kid. Battle Technique Mo Hen stared at the mount under Battle Technique Invincible, his arm heavily patting his head as he said excitedly. Battle Technique Invincible's face was black as he lowered his head, looking completely like a grandson. He gritted his teeth. The ancestor was taking revenge for him, calling him an old man not long ago. Not bad, not bad. In the past, I had already decided to take you in as a disciple. I never expected you to give me a surprise. Beside him, the burly elder said happily. He was the Overlord sect leader, and one of the two strongest pinnacle warriors on the entire Starsource planet. However, their strength was only at the Undying God King level 3. For a Water Wu Desolate Beast Cub to grow to his level, this was a huge matter for the entire Overlord sect. At the very least, it could still allow the Overlord sect to rule for millions of years. Let's go back to the Overlord sect first. The burly elder looked at Wang Xian who was beside him. With a wave of his arm, he enveloped them. Invincible Battle Technique opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but he disappeared in an instant. He was still thinking of provoking the Star Beast Tower. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. When Wang Xian and the rest left, the experts from the Star Beast Tower flew over. When they saw the scene in front of them, their expressions changed drastically. They initially thought that the other party was courting death by flying over here. However, they never expected the Overlord sect's sect master to come over personally. Furthermore, one of the young men was actually his disciple. The Overlord sect's sect master's disciple. Their expressions were extremely ugly as they stood there with clenched fist. Now, they had some guesses that this immortal godly king battle pet should have been obtained when they were chasing after him. They didn't kill the other party, instead they got the undying war pet. At that time, Their expressions were as though they had eaten shit. Master. Big Senior and the rest looked at their master, lowering their heads and shouting, "Water Wu Undying Infant, Undying Level 3 Infant." At this time, Crocodile Emperor's expression kept changing. He muttered, his eyes gleaming. Slowly, his expression turned darker. He clenched his fists slightly and waved his arm, leading the group of disciples away. The Overlord Sect's sect master had arrived. What else could he do? With the other party's strength, if he dared to make a move, the Overlord Sect would dare to suppress him. Even if he could escape, his Star Beast Tower would be finished. Furthermore, to make a move in front of the Overlord Sect's sect master, the huge difference made him not even have the chance to attack. This. On the temporary continent, everyone was shocked at the scene. An undying emperor cub? The sect leader wanted to take in disciples? Everything was too shocking. Wang. An undying level 3 cub. I didn't expect my Battle Techniques clan to actually get an undying emperor cub. That's enough. In the godly palace of Star Origin Planet Overlord Sect, Battle Technique Mo Hen said with a smile on his face. Overlord Sect leader also raised his eyebrows. The more he looked at Battle Technique Invincible, the more he liked it. Forefather, this battle pet was given to me by Boss Wang, Battle Technique Invincible said to his forefather. Chem. Upon hearing Battle Technique Invincible's words, Battle Technique Mo Hen and Overlord Sect leader paused for a moment and looked at Wang Xian. Greetings, seniors. Wang Xian cupped his hands and said with a smile, "This, little brother, are you sure you want to give this immortal king battle pet to my kid?" Mo Hen suddenly asked nervously. This was an immortal king battle pet. And it was a level 3 one. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. Forefather, I have a life-and-death relationship with Boss Wang. Invincible Battle Technique put his arm around Wang Xian's shoulder and said with a smile, "The value of the young immortal God King is immeasurable. Since little brother has given it to Invincible, if you have any needs in the future, you can tell my Battle Technique clan directly." Invincible Battle Technique Mo Hen immediately promise. If not for Invincible Battle Technique this time, I might have fallen at the hands of the Star Beast Hall. This time, it's all thanks to him. He's just a battle pet. Wang Xian didn't really care about this. He smiled and shook his head. Little brother, you are really loyal. Even I admire you. The Overlord Sect leader looked at Wang Xian in astonishment and said sincerely, to be able to give away an immortal godly king battle pet to someone else, even he couldn't do it. Invincible Battle Technique burst into laughter. After that, Wang Xian had a simple conversation with them. A few hours later, Wang Xian was ready to return to the Tianzi continent. Invincible Battle Technique didn't return. He was left on the Star Origin planet by the Overlord Sect leader. Invincible Battle Technique Mo Hen brought Wang Xian back through the planet teleportation formation. Not long after Wang Xian and the rest left, a huge incident happened on the Star Origin planet and the Star Beast planet. All the disciples on Star Beast planet were summoned. This shocked everyone. However, when they learned that someone had obtained an immortal king pup in Star Beast planet, they were all in an uproar. Someone had obtained an immortal king pup. In order to prevent the adult water vapor god king Desolate Beast from rebelling, they were summoned back. After more than 10 years, another lucky person had obtained an immortal king pup. Especially when everyone knew that it was obtained from killing 2 people from Star Beast Tower, it caused a huge commotion. Chapter 2377. 2377 2377 Tianzi Continent Calamity. Because of the Star Beast Tower's pursuit, the other party had gained an undying emperor cub. One of the youths was taken in as a direct disciple by the Overlord Sect leader. Each and every incident was extremely shocking to the entire Star Origin planet. And this time, the most tragic one was the Star Beast Tower. The Star Beast Tower warriors wanted to kill the other party. In the end, all the warriors and disciples were killed, and the other party gained an undying emperor cub. Most importantly, a youth was now taken in as a disciple by the Overlord Sect leader. With the Overlord Sect's godly king not appearing, this person was the boss. Furthermore, with the godly king cub, They even had the chance to take over the Overlord sect. This made Star Beast Tower feel awkward. Star Beast Tower was already living in the gap between the Heavenly Dharma Gate and the Overlord sect. As they could tame desolate beasts, they were on good terms with the two sect. However, other than this situation, the relationship between the Overlord sect and Star Beast Tower was uncertain in the future. Compared to the Overlord sect, the Star Beast Tower was vastly different. Just as the star origin planet was boiling with excitement, Mo Hen sent Wang Xian to the Xian Heaven domain and left politely. Wang Xian looked at his disappearing figure and smiled. Although I haven't been away for long, I have gained quite a lot, even if I don't count that war pet. Wang Xian moved his body and flew towards the front line of Blackwater. This time, not only did his level increase by 1 level, he had also obtained 4 corpses at the peak of the Eternal Lord level. There were more than 600 corpses at the Eternal Lord level and more than a dozen at the level of the 9th level of the Eternal Lord level. Among them, he had also obtained the corpses of 16 experts from the city in the sky. In addition, he had also obtained more than 500 corpses at the godly state. With the various treasures in the interspatial ring, they had gained a lot. However, there was still a long way to go before he could increase his strength. The gains this time will allow the members of the Dragon Palace to gain a significant increase in strength. At least a few hundred more Eternal Overlord members will be added. As Wang Xian calculated in his heart, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. This time, he decided to take out these resources and create 2 subordinates with peak stage Overlord level combat strength. With 2 masters at the peak of the Master God Realm in charge, the Dragon Palace would be able to improve even faster. When he arrived at the front line of the Blackwater, Wang Xian heard a roar coming from the front line. His body moved and he looked towards the battle line. At the front line, there was a battle between humans and sea monsters. Commander Xian. Wang Xian flew over and greeted the 2 of them. Hey, General Wang, why are you back so soon? The 2 of them were astonished when they saw Wang Xian. Yes, something happened. Wang Xian nodded his head and looked ahead. On the battlefield ahead, more than 500 experts from the Dragon Palace were slaughtering the sea monsters wantonly. Around them, the experts from the 3 legions were also fighting. On the battlefield, there were people dying from time to time, and some were eaten by the sea monsters. In the distance, there were countless sea monsters. They were much more terrifying than the ones that Wang Xian had seen previously. Previously, he only needed the experts from the Dragon Palace to take action. Basically, he didn't need other Eternal Masters. However, now, the experts from several legions were taking action. The sea monster's attack this time is quite fierce. Wang Xian frowned and said, "It's been like this for the past few times. I'm afraid that something has changed in the underground sea." Guardian Xian frowned and his face was filled with worry. "Huh? What's going on?" Wang Xian looked at him with a puzzled expression. According to the old ancestor, a few immortal king sea monsters in the underground sea are getting restless. Recently, the attacks of the sea monsters in various places have become 2 to 3 times fiercer than before. Beneath the city in the sky, a large number of sea monsters have gathered. There might be a catastrophe. At that time, even the godly kings would have to make a move. Commander Xian said slowly. "A catastrophe?" Wang Xian was slightly shocked. Is such a situation common? It rarely happens. It has happened twice in history. The first time, the Tianzi continent was still dominated by technology. The human race was almost wiped out in that catastrophe. The natural selection continent used all their resources to invite a powerhouse to suppress it. The second time, there was chaos. An ancestor of the war tactics aristocrat clan died. Once upon a time, the war tactics aristocrat clan gave birth to 2 godly kings. Commander Xian took a deep breath. His long face was filled with worry. Every time the sea monsters invaded the entire Tianzi continent, the humans of the Tianzi continent would suffer heavy losses. This time, many people would die too. Wang Xian was silent as he looked at the battlefield in front of him. If all the wars really break out, it will be an opportunity for the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian thought to himself. The war lasted for more than 10 hours. Even the members of the Dragon Palace were severely injured. There was even a member of the Dragon Palace who was killed by a sneak attack. It's all thanks to your men, General Wang. If it weren't for them, we would have suffered great losses. Chief Xian thanked Wang Xian. I asked my men to stay here for the sake of training and for the corpses of the sea monsters. Wang Xian shook his head. Dragon King. At this moment, Prime Minister Gui and the rest flew over and greeted him respectfully. All right, let's go. Wang Xian nodded at them and led everyone to the back of the camp. How have you been these few days? Wang Xian asked immediately. Dragon King, we have gained a lot in the past few days. Now, the number of Eternal Masters in the Dragon Palace has reached more than 1,300. After today's battle, we can increase the number of Masters by 200. However, over the past few days, more than a dozen of the Dragon Palace lost their lives on the battlefield. Now, they are resurrecting. Prime Minister Gui said. That's right. Wang Xian looked satisfied. Now, there is a batch of resources in the Dragon Palace that can help Ao Xingmu and Ao Yarrow raise their combat strength to the peak of the Divine Lord stage. As for the rest, increase the combat strength of some Eternal Divine Lord stage 7, 8, and 9. Don't increase it too much, but you must have strong people to support it. Wang Xian ordered Prime Minister Gui. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gui immediately nodded his head heavily. In addition, organize a group of combat strength at the peak of the godly state. There might be a big battle coming up. Wang Xian continued to speak. Regardless of whether there was a catastrophe in the Tianzi continent, Wang Xian had to be prepared. If there was a catastrophe, he had to deal with it together with the Tianzi continent and increase his strength rapidly during the war. If the catastrophe did not happen, he would have to be prepared to fight against the city in the sky. This time, the purpose of improving Ao Yarrow's combat strength was to prepare for the fight against the city in the sky. The other party had dealt with him time and time again. He really thought that he was easy to bully. This time, Wang Xian was prepared to have a good fight with them. He would use the fresh blood of the city in the sky to give himself the combat strength of an immortal godly king. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gui immediately nodded his head and replied. It won't be long before the Dragon Palace takes control of the Tianzi continent and the sea. Wang Xian mumbled as his eyes revealed his determination. Chapter 2378. 2378 Under the catastrophe of the 2378 Tianzi continent. Time passed day by day. In the Dragon Palace, each and every member was improving their strength rapidly. Dragon King, all the resources in the Dragon Palace have been exhausted. Ao Xingmu Ao Yarrow has successfully obtained the peak combat strength of the Eternal Divine Lord. Now, there are 1,500 Eternal Divine Lords in the Dragon Palace and another 3,000 troops with peak combat strength of the Divine Realm. 5 days later, Prime Minister Gui walked out from a corner of the Dragon Palace that Wang Xian had revealed and reported respectfully. 1,500 masters of the godly state and 3,000 at the peak of the godly state. Not bad. Wang Xian revealed a satisfied expression on his face. This force was equivalent to 1/3 of the power of the Blackwater frontline. Even for the entire Xian Heaven domain, it was equivalent to 1/10. 1/10 was not weak at all. One had to know that the Xian Heaven domain was already very powerful when all the citizens were in the army. Furthermore, he was already satisfied with the improvement of the Dragon Palace in such a short period of time. Woo 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 woo. At this moment, an urgent sound rang out, causing Wang Xian to reveal a hint of doubt. It was slightly different from the usual urgent sound of the sea monsters attacking. This sound was even longer. Wang Xian moved his body and immediately flew towards the front of the battle. When he arrived there, he realized that the front of the city wall was densely packed with people. There were about 10 million of them. Wang Xian revealed a look of surprise and immediately flew forward. On the battlefield, there were soldiers fighting each other. There were also countless soldiers gathered here. Clearly, something big had happened. The catastrophe of our Tianzi continent is about to arrive. Billions of sea monsters have gathered in the city in the sky and the federal region. The sea monsters want to take over the land. Although that place is far away from us, there are still eggs in the nest. Once that place is taken over, It will be our turn soon. Now, we humans of the Tianzi continent must unite. Today, we will bring the soldiers of the Xian Heaven Domain to the battlefield. This war is the war of the entire Tianzi continent. Just as Wang Xian flew over, Commander Shen's voice came from the front. The catastrophe is about to erupt. So soon. Wang Xian was astonished. A few days ago, they had said something. He didn't expect it to erupt so quickly. The city in the sky, the Federation region, and a part of the Sword Domain were considered to be the front line for the Tianzi continent. The front line of the Black Water here could only be said to be a huge direct current in the underground sea. The ones who were facing the ocean were the city in the sky and the Federation region. The two previous catastrophes had started from there. The catastrophe was a disaster for the entire Heaven Selection continent. No one could avoid it. The Xian Heaven Domain couldn't avoid it either. Once the front line was attacked and destroyed, the Xian Heaven Domain would be destroyed soon. Guardian Xian, has the catastrophe already erupted? Wang Xian walked to Guardian Xian's side and asked him. Yes. According to the news from the city in the sky and the Federation, 4 to 5 immortal king sea monsters have appeared there. The number of sea monsters gathered there has reached hundreds of billions, or even more. According to the two records in history, the catastrophe is about to erupt. We, the Xian Heaven Realm, must send our experts over. Everyone from the Blackwater front line must be mobilized. Guardian Xian looked at Wang Xian with a face full of worry. Too many people died in every catastrophe. When the second catastrophe broke out, the Tianzi continent even sent out an order to forcefully enlist the troop. All the Eternal Lord level 5 and above went to the battlefield to fight. In that battle, billions of people were killed and injured. Even an immortal king was killed. I'll bring my subordinates over too. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he said immediately. General Wang, there's no need for that. Guardian Xian was stunned for a moment before he said immediately. If we can't gain experience, how can we improve quickly? Our Dragon Palace army will follow in the name of the Xian Heaven Domain. Wang Xian shook his head and said. All right, General Wang, get ready. We'll leave in 2 hours on the war aircraft carrier. Chief Xian did not say anything else. In the face of this calamity, being able to gain a little more strength was a guarantee for the entire Tianzi continent. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head and swept his gaze across the more than 10 million people in front of him. This was only the first batch of people. If there was a crisis ahead, there would be at least a few 100 million more powerhouses who would enter the battlefield, or even more. However, this calamity is an opportunity for the Dragon Palace. He mumbled and immediately headed to the resting area of the Dragon Palace's army. With the outbreak of the calamity and the attack of hundreds of millions of sea monsters, with Wang Xian's current level 4 Eternal Lord strength, any sea monsters below level 4 Eternal Lord would be ruled. At that time, an endless stream of aquatic creatures would be ruled and turned into the resources of the Dragon Palace. The members of the Dragon Palace would improve at a terrifying speed. In the end, the Dragon Palace might even be able to produce tens of thousands of Eternal God Lord. He might even step into the Immortal King realm. All members of the Dragon Palace, get ready. Follow me to the battlefield. The next battle will be huge. Wang Xian came to the resting place of the Dragon Palace and shouted softly. It's the Dragon King. One by one, the members of the Dragon Palace flew over and formed an army in an orderly manner. At the very front, there were 1,500 Eternal God Lords and 3,000 peak Divine Realm Warriors behind them. Let's go. He flew into the sky and headed toward the city wall. The members of the Dragon Palace were giving off powerful auras. As the elites of the Dragon Palace, they had been fighting since they were weak. Their murderous aura were even stronger than the army that guarded this place all year round. Hey! That's the Dragon Palace army. Don't they only have 500 Eternal God Lords? What's this? So powerful. The ones in front are all God Lords. The cooperation between the experts of the Dragon Palace army is terrifying. The soldiers of the Blackwater front looked at them with surprise. They knew the Dragon Palace army well. A powerful army was made up of more than 500 Eternal Masters. They were all subordinates of General Wang, the new general. It was said that all of them were under General Wang. They didn't expect that there were more than 1,500 Eternal Masters and 3,000 Peak God Realm Masters. There were only about 4,000 of them in the entire Blackwater front lines. Commander Xian and the rest looked over and their eyes were filled with shock. They looked at Wang Xian who was in front of them and their eyes were sparkling. General Wang, I didn't expect you to have so many powerful subordinates. Thank you for your help this time. Commander Xian walked over and thanked Wang Xian. We are all on the same side. You don't have to be so polite. Wang Xian smiled at the few generals. Haha, good, good. This time, we will set out to show the might of our Xian heaven domain and kill the endless sea monsters. Commander Xian laughed out loud and shouted with a face full of fighting spirit.